Alright, you guys, welcome back to some more Hapymaher. Yes, I'm still wearing the same shirt as the past two videos. I'm actually recording them like throughout the day, and this one I'm recording the next morning because I'm so excited to see the ending. So, we're gonna go ahead and continue on here. Next thing I knew, I was standing in front of the school gate. Huh? Hmm. Finished yawning, and for a second I didn't know why I was standing here. Maybe it's because I had a bad dream. Maybe. I felt like I just daydreamed for a moment. Nah, you've never done that. Fortunately, unlike the dreams I had when I was asleep, I didn't remember my daydreams clearly. Thanks to that, I was able to get enough rest, although it wasn't proper to be having those in the first place. Um, took my phone out of my pocket. I tended to forget what I was doing and where, and when. So I developed the habit of checking the date on my phone at times like this. As I touched the frames of my glasses, I opened my phone to see that it was the start of the second week in April. The opening ceremony had ended, and I started a new year and a new semester as an annexed third year. Huh? I knew what day it was, but for some reason it felt strange for it to be that date.
よう、なーに相変わらずぼんやりしてやがるんだ。
Someone suddenly grabbed my shoulder. Oh gosh, we're going back into rom-com time. Like, it was getting so good. What do you mean? You can't just throw me out of that. We were getting information about Alice, and there was things happening. Like, let's go back real quick. Like, look at this. This was so good. Why would you take me away from this to deal with Tetsuya, of all people?
なんだとはなんだ。3人になったってのに何新規臭い顔してんだよ。
I feel like Tetsuya, and I'm gonna shit on him for a second. I feel like Tetsuya's the character they throw at you when they don't want you to progress the story anymore. They're just like, here, have Tetsuya. We're just gonna totally waste your time with this guy. Same as
そう
always.
だよな。お前いつも新規臭い顔してるもんな。
Yeah, we do. That's right. I was gonna comment on his rudeness, but I couldn't deny it. He's always calling us freaking, what did he just say? Gloomy. He always says we're looking gloomy, and then other times we're pale. We're always one of those. I'm gonna comment on his rudeness so I can deny it. I didn't sleep soundly as usual. On top of looking gloomy ever since I started wearing glasses, the people around me seemed to treat me completely different than before. Oh, is this right after he started wearing those? Okay, maybe this is a part of the story. Tetsuya, I'll forgive you this time.
まあまあ、なんだっけ、まああれだろ。病気みたいなもんだからしょうがないんだろ。
I'm down for backstory. Backstory is important to me. He hit my shoulder multiple times without reservation. It's fine if people think of it that way. It was better to have people outright treat it as an illness rather than spread rumors about me. And it really was. Well, it wasn't insomnia, but if it was an illness, then so was this. It wasn't that I wasn't sleeping, so there was nothing wrong with me physically, but I was still listless because I couldn't get enough
そ
rest.
れに新入生の可愛い子だってたくさん入ってきてんだし、先輩らしくちゃんとしなきゃな。
This guy, always going for younger women. I'll leave that to you.
おいおい、そんなこと言ってたら出会いも逃げてっちまうぜ。こうだな。俺を頼れる先輩だと思った可愛い後輩がお弁当を作ってきてくれたり、うっかり雨の中見つけて雨宿りしたりさせたりしてとか。
I mean, that's kind of wholesome, I guess. Taking shelter from the rain with her.
そういう夢膨らむ第一歩のためには爽やかかつしっかり者って印象は大事なんだぜ。
I like how he's gonna give this impression, and then as soon as he gets a relationship, just drops it. Just starts talking about other women all the time. You sure have it easy. I don't need to try and meet an underclassman. I feel like I heard something off in the distance, but I didn't understand what it meant. As usual, Tetsuya was standing in front of me, talking passionately about how he was going to become a reliable senpai, get a cute underclassman as his girlfriend.
それに今年は特別可愛い子が2人ほどもう話題に上がってるからな。
Girls like that already have boyfriends. If they don't, she'll have lots of
うっ
rivals.
せえ。ライバルが多くてもその中の一人になれる可能性だってあるだろうが。なんで 1% でも可能性があるのに諦めるんだよ。
Tetsuya's the kind of guy who's like, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. The amazing thing about Tetsuya was that he was being serious here. So, do you know who those cute girls even are?
その辺も抜かりはないぜ。
Of course he would.
まず一人はうちの理事の姪っ子らしいぜ。すげえよな。金持ちなのに美人だとか持ちすぎだろ与えすぎだろって。
Okay. God doesn't give more than one gift? That always sounded like sour grapes to me. Some people had one gift, others had 2 or 3, and some people had none at all. For example, I didn't know how many Maya had or even what she had.
で、もう一人は水郷にある会社の社長令嬢さんとかで、やっぱりあれだ、天はひいきしてんじゃないのか。
Rumors are just rumors. Besides, there are boys and girls from good families at this school too. Our school was actually pretty nice. The grounds were pretty secure and the management was thorough. That's not to say that this was some sort of serious academy, but it was good enough to send your kid to if you lived close. Every day I saw several people get dropped off by car. I wonder if those girls would be dropped off by car. I like how in Japan, that's like a fancy thing. Like, ooh, you got dropped off, you know, you didn't have to walk to school. Whereas here in America, it's like the complete opposite. Like, if you walk to school, like, I actually think that's cooler because most people just get dropped off by car. Because America has this horribly designed system where the school is so far away that you can't you have to drive. It's like the complete opposite of your, like, countries like Europe and or like Japan. I envy those countries because I think it'd be much better to just have everything nearby rather than having to drive everywhere. Because driving sucks, especially when you're a kid. It's like if you can't go anywhere because you have to drive anywhere, then you're stuck. And that just sounds like hell. Wonder if those girls were dropped off by car.
そう思って俺が待ってたところにお前が来たんだよ。
So that's why you spoke to me with such convenient timing. While we were having this conversation, a car came and stopped in front of the gate. You're just waiting for girls.
お、見慣れない車だな。あれがもしかして例の新しく入ってきたお嬢様じゃないか。
I knew that car. It wasn't a matter of having seen it somewhere. In fact, I'd ridden in it. Uh-oh, it's Saki's
そ
car.
れではまた放課後にお迎えに上がります。
お仕事が忙しい場合は歩いて帰りますから、無理しないでくださいね。
I could hear the first year who got out of the car talking to the
よ
driver.
し、ビンゴだ。うはー、すげえ綺麗じゃねえか。日本人形見てっていうのか。あれ、おいトール、どうしたトール、見とれてんのか。
No, it's not that. My brain wouldn't work. What was going on? Why was she suddenly noticed us making a commotion and looked towards
おい、
us.
こっち見たぞ。あ、来る。こっち来る。やべえ。俺の爽やかな頼れる先輩オーラがもう溢れ出してがっちり捉えたか。
I like how he goes from freaking out to like, oh, did my aura give off something, you know? Like, no, you were literally just freaking out. Your aura did not give off nothing. That's why. She approached us and smiled.
おはよう兄さん。あら、どうしてそんなに嫌そうな顔をしているのかしら。
That's right. Saki was wearing the girls' uniform of our school's annex building. There's no mistaking it, but why?
兄さん。
Tetsuya gave me an incredibly suspicious look. Then he suddenly moved away from me.
おお、お兄さんメブ。
I think he just died. Put the palm of my hand on his face and pushed him away. Seemed like he said something weird, but I paid it no heed. Tetsuya usually says weird things, so I try to ignore him, but he always just keeps popping up in the plot. As much as I don't want him to. Saki, what are you doing here?
なんでって、この学校に入学したからに決まってるじゃない。
Foo, Saki laughed. I basically figured out what was going on, but I decided to make sure. I thought you were going to apply for Shikyu. Shikyu was an all-girls school a few stations away. I'd heard she was going
落ち
there.
たのよ。あれ、言ってなかったかしら。
You failed? No. If Saki really had applied to a school and failed, I think I would have noticed. No matter how much she tried to hide it, we were close enough that I should have been able to figure it out, but I didn't, which meant this was your plan from the beginning.
さあ、何のことかしら。
My prediction changed to conviction. Come to think of it, I hadn't seen Saki as much lately because I didn't want to bother her during entrance exams, and she didn't come over either. I guess that was the reason Saki's father looked troubled the few times I'd seen him. Takara-san had been giving me even more delicate looks than before. Now that I thought about it, there had actually been quite a few hints.
おいおいトール、その妹さんを俺にも紹介してくれよ。あ、俺根津哲也、こいつの親友な。
He put his arm around my shoulders. Hey Saki, don't you think this is kind of a stretch?
あら、どんな無理があるの？今、こちらの根津先輩の言った通り妹なんだから、それでいいじゃない。
Tetsuya tilted his head in confusion.
え、でもさきちゃんが妹ってことはトール。 お前ももしかして御曹司？
He was already adding Chan to her name. I'll explain later I'm not the son of a well-to-do family.
ええ、今は違うものね。
Saki's words triggered something in Tetsuya.
なんか俺、事情を聞いたら嫉妬が理由で、お前の親友辞めることになるかもしれないな。
I love how Japan has like this, like some of them have like this obsession with like being rich and everything. I'm like, you guys look like you live rich. Like, I see some of the houses in Japan. I'm like, hey, at least you have a house. Do you know how expensive houses are over here? Like, nobody can afford one. But then again, they also have like this different cultural thing where it's like, nobody wants to live in a house that somebody else lived in. Like, apparently that's like a weird thing. Whereas here in America, it's like, who gives a shit? Like, someone lived in it, perfect. Then hopefully it's a little bit cheaper. I mean, you know, our housing market's crazy. I would envy some of the houses in Japan. Like, I've seen them; they're pretty nice. And then they have like these really nice views. It's like here in America, that'd be $1 million. I'm like, oh, you guys have it. You guys have it good. Lucky's just saying that's not what you're imagining, and Saki is my little sister. And they have like the nice toilets. They have the heated bathtubs. Like, what you guys got to complain about, huh? We don't got none of that here. Nothing. Nothing more, nothing less. Little sister. Hearing that from Nissan's mouth gave, again, was both a relief and a disappointment, even though I kept it a secret. Even though I was showing him my new uniform for the first time, he didn't say anything. He looked tired, like it was a pain that I was here. Maybe sad. Well, in any case, I guess I'll be seeing you at school from now on, too.
あら、まるでできるだけ会いたくなかったみたいな言い方じゃない。
お前、こんな可愛い妹に会いたくないとか、なんて贅沢な。
What do you expect me to do to my sister?
というかよ、本当に妹なの？なあ。
Yes, she is. Please just leave it at that for now. Tetsuya must have realized I was really troubled because he toned down the teasing.
しょうがねえな。じゃあお兄さん、俺に妹さんをください。
No. Yeah, I don't want you in the family.
私、とっくに兄さんのものだし、兄さんは私のものだから無理なの。
Saki completely denied Tetsuya, complete with a smile.
トールー。
With a twitching smile, Tetsuya lunged at me. Tetsuya, I can't breathe. Calm down. I felt relieved when I saw Nissan be strangled by his friend. It wasn't that his suffering amused me, but rather it was knowing that he wasn't alone, even when he wasn't with me. I mean, I liked it when he looked troubled, but I really wasn't into physical torture. Not really. Thanks. But what about Maya?
ち、後でじっくり事情は聞かせてもらうからな。
Tell you all about it later, then. Sorry, Saki. Despite all this, he's my friend, so it's okay if I tell him,
兄
right?
さんの好きにしていいわよ。仲良さそうだし、大切なお友達なんでしょ？
I wouldn't say important is the right word, but sure. Tetsuya looked at Saki and me before putting a hand on his hip and sighing pompously.
まったく、このシスコン兄貴め。
I can't deny it. I already knew that painfully well. Lucky to smile on her face that resembled someone else's when she started smiling like... When had she started smiling like that? Saki, well...
何かしら？
It felt awkward saying it this late, but I figured it'd be better to say it anyways, as her brother. Congratulations on being accepted here, even if it wasn't your first choice. And? GQ's probably would have been better, but you do look nice in our uniform. Nissan was so unfair to just casually say that. Even though it made me incredibly happy, it wouldn't be like me to simply express my happiness. That's right, I had to hold back here. So I'm guessing the whole perspective here is like, this is the past, right? Like, we're technically reliving some memories of like, you know, Maya wasn't there, so Saki was kind of like trying to fill in that place, you know, like even at like school and stuff like this, she's trying to like make sure she's close to us. And what did she say that like kind of made me think? So that she can't kind of act on her feelings. Like, Nissan was so unfair to casually say that. So she can't really like express like, okay, I actually like, I'm in love with you, but I have to be your sister, and your sister, you know, isn't gonna necessarily, you know, try to get with you like that.
ずいぶん口が上手くなったのね。そういうの、私の知らないところで誰かに言ってるの？
Hey, you should be happy that I praised you for once.
お前な、こんな可愛い妹なら珍しくじゃなくていつも褒めろよ。あ、いや、
Nissan's friend tilted his head.
お前の口からそんな言葉聞くの初めてだな。どうしたんだトール。サキちゃんが可愛すぎてオーバーヒート起こしたのか？
あら、兄さんはいつも私のことを褒めてくれるわよ。可愛いねって。妹相手なのに。
Don't make things up.
みん
I...
なで湖に行った時にも水着褒めてくれたじゃない。
Sakura-san was there and she was practically threatening me to do so. Or is Maya's technically still here too? I mean, Maya might still be because I think she mentioned something about Maya. So Maya might be here as well. But it sounds like he still kind of made her the sister. I don't know. I'll have to wait and see. I'm confusing myself. I giggled as I watched Nezu-senpai strangle Nissan with one arm. Nissan seemed to be doing better than I thought. Maybe I played the role of Maya well. Okay, maybe she isn't there. Okay, she just keeps mentioning Maya. I guess this is her inner thoughts, like saying I need to, you know, replace Maya. But for him to tell me that this uniform looked good on me, I had to treasure that moment. Because those were words that were genuinely meant for me. Okay, so I was right the first time. I started overthinking it. Are we finally finished? I slumped down on the empty
いや、
sofa.
疲れてるのはわかるけどよ。お前だらしなさすぎじゃねえか？
Tetsuya was drinking a prepackaged bottle of tea. You're the one who's always telling me to admit when I'm tired, and yet you sure seem enthusiastic
いや
today.
だってよトール。あのメンツの中じゃだれるとかマジ無理だろ。ほんと。今日ばっかは尊敬するわ。これ半分くらい冷や汗だもんよ。
Oh yeah, sorry for calling you over to help without really thinking about it.
俺が来るっつったんだからいいんだけどよ。
Even as he said this, Tetsuya made a sour face. Today I was moving to my new apartment and preparing to live by myself. When Tetsuya heard this, he quickly volunteered to help.
俺も手伝ってやんぜ。寿司食おうぜ寿司。むしろ寿司食わせろ。
Oh, I want some sushi. Save some for me. And eagerly came to help. So you want to get some sushi as promised?
なんだろうな。このやたら豪華なの。
On the table in front of the TV, it could be made into a kotatsu in the winter, was a lacquered sushi box filled with neatly lined up rolls of sushi. I think you probably realized by now, but
さっきのそのお兄さん方、さきちゃんの会社の社員さんって聞いたけど。
yeah, they're part of Hasano Security. In other words, they volunteered to help me move today. They were in casual clothing since this wasn't a company assignment. And for the record, this was completely of their own will. The company president in no way compelled them to do it. By the way, they worked really made them look like professional movers. They were Hasano Security, after all, loved by the community as respectable members of society. They're also very good to me since I was practically a brother to their company's president's daughter. Upon hearing that I was moving out of my own, some of the younger guys I got along with even came to help.
警備会社だよな。
Don't forget to add loved by the community. By the way, this wasn't something they made up, it was true. They did things like donate to the local government, as well as volunteers such as visiting the elderly, so they really were a respectable company.
ただいま兄さん。あれ、みんな帰っちゃったの？
Saki, who had gone to get drinks, came in. By the way, there had been a minor uproar when Saki said she was going to the convenience store. Everyone wanted to go instead of Saki, so they started arguing about it. But Takahara-san had come with Saki, so she took charge of the situation, which was a big relief. Seeing the employees of Hasano Security, Tetsuya was either re-evaluating how he saw Saki or he was dead tired because he wasn't getting as carried away as usual.
あれ、高原さんは？私を置いて先に帰っちゃうわけはないと思うんだけど。
I don't know, I think if they had quite a few guys, I mean, he doesn't really have that much stuff. I mean, there's a couch, there's a bed, there's a desk. Like, those are the only big things I see in here. She should be informing the landlord that I'm done moving in, and she said that she'd see the others off. When I said landlord, I meant Saki's dad. This property also belonged to the Hasanos. They even provided some furniture when I moved in. Really, I'm their dad. I couldn't right now, but I hoped that I would become an adult and I'd be able to pay them back somehow. Mr. Asano had said that it was partly their responsibility that Maya had disappeared, even though that wasn't true. Our families had originally known each other, so they'd always been good to me, but it felt like they'd become even more considerate since then. They insisted it was because I was Saki's friend, but...
兄さん、何か飲む？みんなまだいると思っていろいろ買ってきちゃったんだけど。
Oh, is there black tea without milk?
甘いのしかないけど文句言わないでね。
I don't get how people drink like straight up black tea. Like, I don't know. It's just not enough for me. Or, okay, well, sorry, not black tea. Like black coffee. I don't know how people do black coffee. Like, straight up. I have to at least have milk in it. And I like to put, maple syrup. And I know that sounds weird, but apparently that's like a little bit of like a healthier way to do it. You put maple syrup instead of just like straight up sugar. Handed me a bottle of tea and I opened it. And then you do vanilla extract. You put a little bit of vanilla extract, and then you got something going. Lucky took it up milk tea and put the rest of the drinks next to the box of sushi. I don't know if I've ever had black tea. I've had green tea, obviously. I don't know if I've ever had black tea. Then she looked at Tetsuya with a mischievous smile.
ところで今日は静かですけど、うちの社員を見て何か思いました？
いや、その
Tetsuya's eyes wandered for a moment, then he laughed.
サキちゃんに手出したら俺どうなっちゃうのかな。
兄さん以外にそんなこと許す気はないけど、そうですね。もしも何かしでかしたら。
Lucky put on a chilling smile like her mom sometimes did.
同じ目に遭わされるくらいは覚悟してもいいんじゃないかしら。
Oh gosh.
うお、怖え怖え。
Like she's like the dad that's like, anything you do to my daughter, I'll do to you. Of course, it was just a threat. Tetsuya seemed to understand this because he joked about it, like always.
トール、俺これからサキちゃんには変なこと言わないようにするわ。
Alright, that's probably a good idea. What do you mean you've held back plenty in the past too?
あれ、そうなんですか？
バカ、見くびるんじゃねえよ。他人にフラグ立ってる相手に下手なことするかよ。
I don't know about that one. You would always talk about it. Well, I guess, Saki tilting her head. What are you talking about? Like I've said many times now, what would I possibly do with my little sister? Seeing that I was purposely looking away, Tetsuya gave me a lenient smile. Naturally, Saki was smiling like she always did, like Maya always had.
ここの家具誰からのもらいもんだっけ？
Half of it is a present for Saki's dad. By the way, I already explained me and Saki's relationship to Tetsuya. Makes me wonder the reason why he has such a big bed. I mean, was the dad planning something all along? Because why get him such a huge bed if he wasn't planning on having someone else in it? Although I'd only said that Saki called me her brother because we've been friends since childhood, I hadn't told him the details. But I had told Tetsuya that I used to have another sister, and ever since then he hadn't touched on this subject. Maybe it was because of that, or maybe it was because the guys from Austin Security were gone. Tetsuya started running to his usual
このベ
place.
ッドもサキちゃんのとこからのプレゼントなんだろ？
It was a bed which seemed far too large and sturdy for just one person. It obviously wasn't for personal or home use. In a way, it was for business use.
大きくていいベッドじゃないの。
It's for business use. What does that mean? It was a nice big bed, but
トール、これどこのメーカーのベッドとかわかるか？つうかよ、普通に売ってんのか？
I mean, it looks like a platform bed to me. I wonder. I think words were probably going through both of our heads. Is this a love hotel bed?
確か知り合いがやってるホテルを改装するときに余ったんで、ちょうどもらってきたって言ってたかしら。
A hotel? Was this the kind of hotel that had another word in front of
改
it?
装時に新しく買って余ったのか、古い分なのか、それが問題だな。
Yeah, that's what I'd worry about. I hope it's new.
さすがにお祝いで古いものは持ってこないと思うけど。
Hey, at least it'd be broken in, right? By the way, the furniture had been set up not just by the Hospital guys, but was also provided by an acquaintance in manufacturing. Not only was the bed huge, but this apartment was also on the top floor. It seemed like it would really be difficult to move into such a thing, but I guess there's nothing for
ほ
professionals.
らトール、ああいうホテルって入り口狭いし、部屋数多い割にベッド多いからな。
So wait, we got a penthouse? Is that what I'm understanding? Gosh, dang. Oh, I get it now. It's like he tilted her head. She didn't seem to
何
understand.
の話？
I couldn't tell her.
ところでこれ回らないのか？
I've heard there are hardly any rotating beds these
何
days.
よ、回るベッドって。
Lucky was puffing at her cheeks a little, probably frustrated from being left
ところ
behind.
でこういうベッドって枕元にボタンあるよな。
Gosh, how fancy is this bed? Doesn't seem to be any on this one. There was a large space next to the bed to put things on. Even if you took into account how big the bed was, it's big enough to big enough to be a simple table. It seemed that's like this and oh, okay. As two guys vast in our understanding, Saki approached the bed. Why are we talking so much about this stupid bed? I'm afraid of this bed now. Like, what was it used for? He sat down on the edge.
これだけ広ければ2人くらい一緒に寝ても大丈夫よね。
No, actually, Toru likes to spread out, so only one. The air flew out of me and Tetsuya's mouth at the same time. If we'd been drinking something, it would have been sprayed everywhere.
何兄さん、小さい頃は一緒に手をつないで寝てたじゃない。
普段なら徹、お前っていうところだけど、今日だけはサキちゃんの天然プリに負けるぜ。
It's not my fault.
2人とも何か変な想像でもしてるの？
No, they would never. It's just, it was probably the same thing in the end, but the process was different. We were obviously not as pure as she was. I don't even believe that she's that pure. I think she's just playing innocent. Besides, what do you mean sleep together?
言ったままの意味よ。まさかソファーで寝ろって言うんじゃないでしょうね。
Why would you be sleeping over here in the first place?
兄さんが一人暮らししてるんだもの。遊びに来てもいいじゃない。
Even though Tetsuya was here, Saki stood up from the bed and walked over to me. After sitting close enough, they were almost touching. She looked up at me.
早速今日泊まっていっちゃおうかしら。
何を言ってるんですか、お嬢様。
Oh, thank
そんな
goodness.
こと許せるわけがないでしょ。
The voice of reason. The returning Takahara-san closed the door behind her
あ
inside.
ら、どうしてダメなのかしら。
わかっているでしょうね。
Probably because Tetsuya was there, Takahara-san left things at that. Maybe Takahara's her mother, because we keep hearing about a mom, but we don't ever see the mom. Maybe she doesn't know. I have no idea. I just think they look related. Like, it's the hair. Like, they just look like they're related. But maybe it's a sister or something, or maybe some other kind of relative. I don't know. Gave me the bed a sour look. It looked like Takahara-san knew what kind of bed this was too.
一応言っておきますが、新品ですので安心してください。
Thank goodness. I'm glad you clarified that. Genuinely
ある
relieved.
意味残念だけどな。
What? Ew. Tetsuya. Disgusting. Don't ever say that again. I'm glad that Tetsuya looked away and started
まあ
whistling.
まあ、新品なら盗聴器とかカメラとか入ってる心配もなくていいじゃねえか。
根津くんでしたね。そんな怪しいものをハスノの名で送るとでも思っているんですか？
ジョークっすよ、ジョーク。
なんだかさっきからみんなで私のわからない話で盛り上がってないかしら。
どうやらお二人ともお嬢様に余計なことを言ってはいないようですね。
Not interested in going to the trouble of explaining such things to my little
お
sister.
兄ちゃんは過保護だからな。
だから何よ、みんなして私をのけものにして。
She gave me an icy look. Oh gosh, it's not Keiko this time. But she was just trying to hide her embarrassment, so it wasn't scary at all. Any rate, should we have some sushi? I'm hungry.
当然俺も食っていいんだよな。
Yeah, I'll have to go thank the other guys properly sometime. Saki's dad, the president of Hostel Security, had prepared the sushi along with the furniture, so I thought everyone was going to eat it, but they'd all gone
内
home.
藤くんはまだ学生なんですから無理に背伸びしようとしてはいけませんよ。大人はしたいからしている。責任も自分のものです。彼らに感謝するのならできる範囲でしないとかえって失礼になりますからね。
I know. I did know. I couldn't go too far to express my gratitude. I had to stick to what I was capable of.
どうしたの？私に感謝するなら態度で示してもらえるかしら。
All you did today was go buy drinks. She didn't do anything else, and it seemed like her presence made the other guys nervous. Takahara-san seemed to agree, but naturally she couldn't say such a thing to the daughter of the company's
あ
president.
トル、ウニと大トロとイクラ嫌いだったよな。俺食ってやるよ。
Don't let Tetsuya eat the ones with the toppings, he just said.
おに
Saki Takahara-san tried to calm us down.
それにしても今日本当に一人で寝て平気？心配だからやっぱり泊まっていこうと思うんだけど。
Worried about
あ
what?
ら、だってこれから兄さんずっと一人なのよ。夜起きても一人だなんて大丈夫なの？
I mean, to be fair, Saki does have a genuine reason for wanting to, stay over and sleep next to him so that she can tell if like he's having a nightmare. For just a moment, I almost said that I wanted her to stay. Takara-san seemed to know why, so she looked like she was hesitating. Only Tetsuya, who knew nothing, was tilting his head. Don't be ridiculous, I'm not a child, I said, ruffling Saki's hair. For just a moment, she smiled like she often had when we were kids, and my chest ached. They had this really, kind of weird relationship where she was trying to kind of replace his sister, and maybe the whole time he just wanted her to be herself. I think he definitely like needed that at the start. He needed something to, you know, kind of attach to, and I mentioned kind of last video, I thought that maybe that was a mistake. I think long term it was a mistake, and I still hold by that. That maybe in the short term that's what he needed to get through. Maybe nothing else would have got him through because he was so lost to dreams, right? But I think after a certain point, it sounds like Toru's more okay because they mentioned Maya. I don't know if it was Takahara or who mentioned it, but they were talking. I think it was the company president. So Saki's dad mentioned Maya, and he just kept going. Like he didn't like even hesitate on hearing her name. February 14th, Valentine's Day. It's been a year since we moved from the Annex building to the main building. Most of our classmates came from Annex, but our classes have changed, and there were some new people as well. It's just... This was our first Valentine's where our class had been changed up in the 3 years where we had been here. The guys were obviously nervous and could smell a faint trace of chocolate at times in the classroom. It wasn't forbidden to bring chocolates to our school, so during lunch break and after school, Valentine gifts were regularly passed out. Passed around, sorry. I often got glared at by guys who were likely to receive any chocolates who hoped for an occasional obligatory chocolate. Tetsuya, you're even saying that with a smile. Tetsuya had his hands on my shoulders. Actually, he was digging his fingers in them. This sounds familiar. There's a bit of a height difference and a difference in stature between us, so it's a bit painful. Besides, don't you have someone who actually gives you chocolates every year? Classroom filled with the sound of tongues clicking. There's some chocolates exchanging hands in a corner of the class, so everyone clicked their tongues at that too.
いや、そうなんだけどな。いや、苦労したぜ。
ふーん、苦労したんだ。
What's Asahi? Startled, Tetsuya turned to see Asi standing there with a suggestive smile.
ああ、苦労したさ。俺のこの思いを朝日に理解してもらうまではな。
To me, you look like you were having fun from the start. Asi and Club Prez had transferred to this school just as we graduated to the main building. When Asi walked into our class, Tetsuya had said,
可憐だ。
and fell in love in an instant. This was the first time I saw the singular moment someone fell in love.
最初、私からかわれてるのかと思ってたよ。
No! 俺は最初から本気だったぜ。
Why did he say no in English? Like he just had to like emphasize it.
うん、それは今は分かってるよ。
Asi smiled so softly that I was entranced, even though it was a smile aimed at Tetsuya. This time, there were not just tongue clicks, but also sounds of keh, and people fanning themselves with their hands even though it was winter. Even so, the air around Tetsuya and Asi didn't fall
と
apart.
いうわけで、はい、これバレンタインのチョコレートだよ。
おお、サンキュー。
Tetsuya received it on his knees like it was a gift from God. There were tears streaming down his face. A little dramatic. To be honest, seeing him so honestly and seriously happy made me feel stupid for even feeling envious.
大げさなんだから、お菓子なんていつも作ってるでしょ。
それはそれ、これはこれ。大事に食うよ。
I honestly do think this is probably the most wholesome moment I've ever seen between these two. Not to say Tetsuya's like a terrible guy, but he really is always talking about other girls in front of her. So it's nice to see him just like really appreciating Asahi in the moment. Early on in the relationship, I'm sure it was very much like that. It seems like it kind of got more playful and silly as it went on. Tetsuya clutched the chocolates to his chest and stuck up his thumb, even though until last year he was one of the people who always strangled me. Actually, Tetsuya received obligatory chocolates from lots of girls.
あと、トールくんもこれ。哲也くんに作った残りだけど。
Oh wow, hey, you have some for me too. This guy. Oh, Asahi did look behind her. Because Tetsuya was glaring at me with a look on her face that could have put a certain delinquent manga to shame.
当然義理だけどね。
I would be worried if they weren't, but I appreciate it nonetheless.
まあ、俺の朝日は天使みたいなもんだからな。
This guy switched up real quick.
トールみたいに満たされてるやつにはいらないんじゃないかって俺なんか思っちゃうのに。
Oh, just wait, Tetsuya. We get more girls. What do you mean?
お前本気で言ってるか？
Tetsuya suddenly went back to normal, even though he had a terrifying look on his face just moments before. I told you, Saki's my sister.
だけど本命のチョコレートをお兄ちゃんにあげちゃうなんて可愛いよね。
Asuya gave me a smile with a hint of unpleasantness and made my chest ache. She knew Saki and I were childhood friends rather than siblings, but I was sure she was serious.
むしろ妹から本命チョコをもらえる状況が妬ましいんだが。
それはお前また別の意味で高望みしすぎじゃねえか？
だけどお姉ちゃんもチョコレート用意してたし、あれきっとトールくん用だよね。
As soon as Asuya said this, I felt a bloodthirsty aura coming from all around me. That alone was enough to cause my body temperature to drop. Hey, don't be mad just because y'all don't get any women, okay? My man Toru, he may take a little bit of time to make decisions, okay? But apparently he's just good with women. Everybody loves him. She gave them to me. They were obligatory. She bought them at the store and she had some for older club members. This explanation nowhere disappeared.
さすが弥生先輩。優しいんだな。
I heard someone say and I sighed in relief.
あれ？だけどトールくん用だけ別じゃなかったっけ？
朝日それ以上言うとトールが死ぬぞ。というか嫉妬の力で俺が裁く。
I'll bring him to justice myself. Luckily, no one else seemed to notice the bomb Asuya just dropped. Why do I have to be brought to justice by a guy who got chocolates from his girlfriend?
弥生さんのチョコレートが羨ましいからだ。
You're gonna get hit, my guy. Yeah. Asuya gave Tetsuya a low kick to the shins. Lately, Asuya got used to Tetsuya's outburst. This is how she counterattacked. Well, I mean, it sounds like he's already doing that. Like he's already like kind of talking about other women, but it seems like he's doing it a little bit less. Come to think of it, did you not get chocolates from Club Prez even though you hang out at Asuya's house?
哲也くんの分があるっていうのは聞いてないな。
なんでトールはもらえて俺はもらえないんだ。
Tetsuya knelt on the ground looking up as though asking God. Asuya planted another low kick in his thigh. He looked strangely happy as he was kicked. Yeah, we all know you like it. Like, there's no way you keep making comments like that and you don't like it. This guy probably likes getting stepped on. You know, he's the kind of guy who's like, makes a chair for her when she needs to sit down. We all know. We all know.
他の部員の分はひとまとめだから、トールだけ別でもらったっていうのは言っちゃダメよ。言ってもいいけど。
Although I don't care if you do. The president said, having gone to the trouble of preparing obligatory chocolate just for me. Did the fact that I was worried about what was in them mean that my heart was tainted? But they weren't handmade, so they were probably okay.
つうかよ、お前チョコもらえないならまだしも本命チョコもらえるのにバレンタイン憂鬱そうって何様だ。
I'm prepared to get strangled for saying this, but what is it? Asked Tetsuya. Do you understand the mixed feelings of a brother who received non-obligatory chocolates from his sister?
全然わかんねえ。さきちゃんくらい可愛い妹だったらむしろぜひとも欲しいだろうが、何の問題があるんだ。
へえ、妹なのに？
I love Atsuhi's face right here. Can I just say that? Tetsuya didn't notice Atsuhi's aura had changed a
妹
little.
だろうとなんだろうと美少女であれば関係ない。そう、つまり愛に障害なんてない。
Love knows no obstacles. Asuya slid away from Tetsuya as fast as she could.
朝日カムバック。いやそういう意味じゃなくてだな。
Then what did you mean? Sighing, I got my books together, prepared to leave the classroom. I hardly knew any girls, and I'd already received obligatory chocolates from the ones I knew anyways. I didn't want people to think I was staying here because I was expecting more, so I wanted to hurry and leave. See you then, Tetsuya, Asuhi.
またね。
あれ、お前帰るの？
I am. See you tomorrow. We got cut off just as I went down the
な
hallway.
んだか逃げようとしてるように見えるけど。
Saki had been waiting for me. Of course I'm not. Saki didn't seem to blame me in the
そ
slightest.
う。それで兄さんは今日何の日だか分かってるのかしら？
Because of the icy aura around Saki, there was no sign of anyone around to tease me, though I was talking to a girl on a day like this. In fact, it must have looked like a bloodbath was about to take place because everyone was keeping well enough away. Would it be the first time we've had a bloodbath? Yes, it's Valentine's Day.
分かってるじゃない。なのになんでさっさと帰ろうとしてたのかしら。
Because it's an event that doesn't have much to do with
うー
me.
ん。可愛い妹からのチョコレートはいらないのかしら。
I thought you would bring them to my apartment like last year. Last year it was too large to bring to school, so she ended up bringing it to my apartment. Gosh, how much chocolate did she bring? But a whole cake is a bit too much for a guy living by himself like
だ
me.
としても何も言わずに帰ることないじゃないの。
I didn't want people to think I was staying in the classroom to wait for chocolates. Especially wanted to avoid the barrage of jealousy upon having Saki bring me chocolates. Second thing I wanted to avoid was Tetsuya bragging about having a girlfriend.
そう。じゃあここで渡してもいいんだけど、せっかくなら兄さんの部屋まで行きましょうか。
Saki smiled sweetly. I don't mind if you give them to me here.
あら、部屋で二人きりじゃないとあげられないものってあるのよ。
Hey, yo. Saki said as though I wasn't making any sense. Passerbyers who thought we were just a couple clicked their tongues, and acquaintances who were under the impression we were siblings were giving us complicated looks. What if I said I didn't want it?
今ここで本気で泣くわ。
Like how she says that, with a smile on her face, without even the slightest hint that she's about to cry at all. Like she'd certainly go through with it. So unfair. Even though I must have had a really unpleasant look in my face, Saki was
何を
merciless.
しても結果が全てよ。知ってるでしょ。
She smiled, looking just a little evil. The atmosphere was a mix of envy from guys who didn't get any chocolates and pity for her brother being toyed with by his sister. Why was this happening? I already knew why. Had this been the same thing probably would have happened to me, but even so, heaved a deep sigh. Okay, when are we getting to it? I'm waiting for the thing. Waiting for something to happen. Is it gonna happen right now? Return to my apartment with
気
Saki.
にしないから着替えていいわよ。
I do mind, so I'm not going to change. While I was hanging my coat in the hanger, Saki turned on my kotatsu without asking and started warming up. She then signaled for me to come over with her eyes. It wasn't a request. I sat next to Saki, although not because she had given me the signal to do so.
兄さん、バレンタインのプレゼントよ。
I always love when Saki's smiling. It's really adorable. Saki pulled out two packages from the bag she was holding and gave them to me. One was about the size of a small paper bag, and the other was a paper package about the size of a 1.5 liter plastic bottle. Wow, we're getting really specific here. There's two.
ええ、今年はチョコが小さくなっちゃったから、もう一つ用意したのよ。
Can I open
いい
them?
に決まってるじゃない。
When I opened the larger package, it turned out to be a scarf. Oh, it's so
適
soft.
当なものをあげるわけにはいかないでしょ。
Saki seemed somehow unsatisfied. Thanks. Wait, what's wrong?
別に何でもないわよ。
Why did she seem mildly upset? I was happy with it and relieved that it was a normal present. Last year's present was a huge homemade cake, and so I'm happy with this year's
で
present.
も買ってきたものって味気ないじゃない。
No. There's a tag on it. I don't think so. Well, it's true that you could probably knit a scarf. As I said, the Saki expression got more and more interesting, and by that, I mean it became sour. Saki, don't tell me you tried to make one.
兄さんってば、分かりきってるくせにわざわざ確認するなんて。
Yeah, I wouldn't imagine making a scarf would be like a super easy thing. Or at least it would at least take you a long time to do.
私に追い打ちをかけたいの？そうやって困った私を見たいっていうのかしら？
Of course not.
それとも弱らせたところでその弱みにつけ込んだりするつもりかしら？それだったら私に意地悪をするのも許してあげるけど。
Sorry, I cut you off, Saki. What good would it do to take advantage of your weakness even further? Saki's face stiffened for a moment in response to those words, which I hadn't meant to utter. Besides, even if I did take advantage of you, what more could I ask
今
for?
日は兄さんの部屋に泊まっていこうかな。
What are you saying? Cut it out. For her to suggest this at this moment made me extremely nervous. Don't try to change the subject like that just because you failed at knitting a scarf. Saki made a face like she wanted to click her tongue.
手編みとかうまくいかないし。だったらいいものを買ってきた方がお互い幸せになれるじゃない。
You are pretty clumsy. In contrast to her appearance, she was actually quite clumsy. No, clumsy was a misleading way to put it. She wasn't good at cooking or knitting or other girlish tasks. On the other hand, she could handle things like weapons and self-defense flawlessly. I didn't notice.
それでも手編みのマフラーの方が良かったかしら？
At this age, wouldn't a hand-knit scarf for my little sister be overdoing it as a Valentine's gift? It wouldn't be one thing. It would be one thing if it were my birthday or celebration, but it was just Valentine's Day.
主にね。それでも手放せないくせに。
Saki giggled, but her eyes didn't seem to be laughing.
私がどれだけ重くても抱えきれなくなってもそれでも抱えてないと不安でたまらないくせに。
She was right. In the end, I would break down without Saki. And Saki didn't feel heavy, that I wouldn't feel like I was really carrying her, so I wouldn't be able to support myself. I was such a burden. When Saki really couldn't stand me anymore, I hoped that she would abandon me without a second thought. But if I said that, she'd probably get mad, and it wasn't like I actually wanted her to abandon me. Can I eat the chocolates?
ええ、こっちはちゃんと作ったから。
Could have bought these somewhere
手
too.
作りを嫌がられるなんて女の子としてはショックだわ。
Saki's tone made it sound like she wasn't shocked at all. Well, I undid the bow and opened the package. There were several individually wrapped bite-sized chocolates inside. They were heart-shaped, naturally, and I could only imagine what Tetsuya and the others would say if they saw. Picked up one and put it in my mouth. Saki looked at me curiously. She seemed a little anxious, which made me feel like I had seen her normal self for the first time in a while. What was this? I mean, yeah, it was chocolate, but it was sweet and bitter, and there was some sort of, acidity. Aside from the chocolate, there was a grassy taste, reminiscent of traditional Chinese medicine, making me feel like someone had forced some herbs or perfume into my mouth. After I somehow managed to swallow it, I slowly turned to Saki. Saki-san, did you taste
言い
these?
たいことはその表情でなんとなくわかるんだけど何か文句あるの？
It tastes awful.
それバレンタインチョコの感想として相手にはっきり言う言葉かしら。
Saki said somewhat sadly, even though she pretended to be tough. She used to be really frail, but maybe she still was. Even so, what's the point in their beating around the bush towards my sister? If it tastes bad, it tastes bad. Saki had a sad expression on her face that was really bad. Can it be helped that Nii-san, that Teru-chan, would be honest about that? But Maya-chan could make anything, so I wonder if she would have made delicious Valentine's chocolates for Nii-san. How did they turn out like this, even if they are handmade chocolates? Unable to take it anymore, I started to make tea. There's still more chocolates. I felt tempted to eat the chocolates cut present Asi had given me to get the taste out of my mouth. Obviously, I couldn't do that in front of Saki.
手作りって言っても溶かして固めただけなんて手作りとは言えないじゃない。
Then where did you get the ingredients? A cacao plantation? It wouldn't be strange for the family to directly source cacao, but not impossible.
そうじゃなくて、自分なりに頑張ってみたんだけど。
You don't have to do
来年
that.
はもっと上手に作るわよ。
Just go buy some, I'm begging you. In response, for some reason, Saki pouted but didn't seem
いらない
angry.
とは言わないのね。
No, I'm not. I might be able to lie about not wanting them, though.
なら、まずいって言ったのは許してあげるわ。
I don't know, apparently there was grass in there. I mean, there's not supposed to be grass in chocolate. Just because it's like, from like grass-fed cows doesn't mean there's actual bits of grass. Saki grabbed a chocolate and put it in her mouth. Her expression grew sour.
兄さん、これ本当にまずいわね。
That's what I'm saying. I wish you would have tasted them
兄
beforehand.
さん、早くお茶。まさか自分の分しか用意してないわけないでしょ。
Ah, jeez, you. But doing something stupid like this was fun and kept me from thinking about unnecessary things. Wish times like this would last forever, though I knew it wasn't possible. I still wished for it. Yeah. That was a dream. Yes, please. I want to know what happens next so bad. This is just blue balling me. Next thing I knew, I was sitting on a beach on a bench in front of the station. I wish it was at the beach. That sounds nice. There seemed to be no one in town, so it was so quiet that it almost made my ears
ご
hurt.
めん、トール。
So sorry, Toru. What are you apologizing for? I'd seen a memory about me and Saki. The memory that hadn't been altered at all. Still sitting on the bench, I shook my head, which felt fuzzy because I'd just woken up. Alice was standing in front of me with an apologetic look on her face.
さきちゃんの思い出、うまく集められなくて。このままだと、きっとさきちゃんはあの子に、マイヤに巻き戻されて思い出が消えちゃう。
What happens then? It can't be that time actually rewinds in reality.
だけど、さきちゃんの記憶は巻き戻されたところまで戻っちゃうと思う。
In other words, when we wake up, Saki will possibly have forgotten years of her life. She might even return to the Saki back when Maya was
もっ
alive.
とたくさん いろんな思い出をトールに見せようとしたんだけど、うまくいかなくて。だからごめん。
Why are you apologizing?
だってほら、このままじゃ消えちゃうかもしれないんだし。
No, that's good enough. You were helpful, and I stood up quickly. I remember my memories of Saki, so even if Saki forgets, it's okay.
本当にちゃんと全部覚えてる？
Hey, don't you remember what kind of brain I have? I tapped the side of my head with a finger. It's not just lucid dreams I remember, I also remember reality.
こじつけっぽいな。
It mostly is. Having lucid dreams were the same as having a perfect memory. Obviously, I forgot the things that didn't matter, but I managed to remember the important things. Or so you think. You were forcibly made to forget the important things. If I didn't have Saki, I would have died a long time ago. When I said this, Alice went silent. It's not as dark as it sounds. It's like how I would have died if I didn't eat
つ
anything.
まり、さきちゃんを食べちゃったから生きてられたってこと？
Hey, yo, wait, what?
そうだ、H。
Where did you get that from? I gave Alice a chop over the forehead with my hand. Even though Saki could have kept living as Saki, at a certain point she started living as Maya. That's my fault, right? When my sister died, I almost followed her. Saki became my replacement sister. I regretted that this whole time, but if she didn't, then I might have gone back to how I was before, so I wasn't able to tell her it was okay to stop.
マイヤがいなくて、現実も夢もごっちゃになっちゃったあの頃みたいに。
That's right, in other words, it's thanks to Saki that I can live as myself, and because Saki is that important to me, I paid attention the whole time, and I think I remember everything. As a matter of factly, causing Alice to give me a slightly troubled look. Hey, what are you so concerned about? This is between me and Saki.
そうだけど、
I always felt apologetic towards Saki. I thought it would be okay eventually, but before long. So next year when Saki became a first year at the main building, I was going to tell her I was okay. That I was fine without a sister, and yet for all this to
ご
happen...
めんって言っておくところかな。
If it's your fault, then you're getting a lecture later. Stretched my arms. I never thought Saki might be thinking the same thing. For her to think that she was tying me down or making things harder for me, calling me Nissan even though I'm not her real brother, and saying things to tease me. She worries too much. I think she must have really been forcing herself considering how quiet and honest she used to be.
最初は確かに無理してたかもしれない。だけど、私の知ってるさきちゃんは、トールを相手にしてるときは本当に楽しそうだったよ。
Well, it's not like I liked being teased, but I always had fun when I was with Saki too. Alice
さ
nodded.
きちゃんはずっとトールのことが好きだった。大好きだった。だけど、妹だから恋人になれなかった。なっちゃいけないって思ってた。
I guess it was my fault for making her think that.
まあ、そうかもね。というか、恋愛事って同じくらい責任があるなら、男の人が基本的に悪いよね。
Hey, wait, what? Though in this case, it's my fault because I was pathetic. I don't know. I think both parties put a lot of pressure on themselves, right? I think Saki thought that she needed to be this other person in order to, you know, keep us happy and keep us sane. Or maybe that was true to a certain point, but I think after a while it ended up just hurting him because he realized how much she was trying to be someone she wasn't, you know? Alice nodded and followed me as I started
ど
walking.
こ行くの？
To where Saki is. Don't worry, I was able to get a grip on things because of that dream you showed me. I didn't need to ask where she was. There was only one building that was like a castle wrapped in thorns. The Tsukio building. Ugh, we always go back to here. Saki had to be
そう
there.
なの？さっきのって適当に見つけられたところだけだし、二人にとって特別大事な思い出を選んだわけじゃないんだけど。
Well, the days I spent with Saki are important to me. Didn't matter why she showed it. I was glad that I had been able to see it again. Rewinding means that I'll forget the time I spent with Saki without Maya, right? There was a good chance that it would happen too. I don't want that. Even if I do collapse because of my lucid dreams, even if I'm tired all the time, I couldn't bear to lose my memories with Saki.
これからもその明晰夢とずっと付き合っていかなきゃならないとしても、
I'll be fine as long as I have Saki. Conversely, without Saki, no matter how fulfilled I am in every other way, I wouldn't be able to bear it.
このシスコンめ。
Ah! Hey, I'll have you know we have a perfectly legitimate romantic relationship. Alice and I chuckled.
割り切れたってそのこと？
You could say that, but it isn't it enough that I realized I can't live without
遅すぎ
Saki.
ると言うべきかべったりねって呆れるべきかどっちだろうと思うけどそっか今のトールはあの子を選んだんだ
I don't know, whenever they say shit like that, it makes me think, like, the current you? So, like, what about another version of me? Another version of me chose differently? Is that what you're saying? There's something strange about Alice's words just now, but they're even acknowledging it. Like, hey, something weird about what she just said, but you know, we'll just pass over that. Okay, now I think it's confirmed that Alice knows some other timelines too.
そっかそっかうんならそれでいいんじゃない
Why are you acting so pompous for it?
そんなつもりはないんだけどあそうだはいこれ
Alice pulled her heart-shaped shears out of her pocket and handed them to me.
あの茨の城に行くんでしょ王子様ならきちんと切り開いていかないと
Didn't the prince use a sword or something rather than shears? I tucked the shears in my belt so I wouldn't drop them.
いいちゃんと切り開いてサキちゃんのところに行くんだよ面倒だからって私がやってるみたいに一気に枯らせたりとかしちゃダメだから
I get dizzy after I do things like that. It wasn't hard because it was similar to getting lightheaded in the
あ
bath.
んまり使いすぎると都合のいい夢から抜け出せなくなるって前に話したっけ
I think so. What a
夢
pain.
には夢のルールがあるんだよ
Alice put her hands on her hips and looked at me with a familiar look of
それに
confidence.
しくじれば二度と目を覚ませない現実も夢もごっちゃになっちゃうトールだって分かってるでしょ
Painfully so.
よしなら私の言うことはきちんと聞いておくように
Seemingly satisfied with my answer, Alice pulled a key out of her pocket. Then can I go quickly to where Saki is?
無理きちんと自分の足で行ってサキちゃんに受け入れてもらわない
Yeah.
と
Can't cheat our way through. Then where are we going?
マイヤのとこだよ
Isn't that where Saki is?
あの子は絶対にこの夢を見てる私たちが話してることも聞いてるはずだしサキちゃんの願いを叶えるためにきっと邪魔をしてくるだから私はあの子の邪魔をしに行ってきます
Alice saluted me dramatically. Oh, okay
あ
then.
れもしかして私信用されてない
I don't think you're a bad person at all, but I am suspicious of you.
失礼な私はこんなにみんなのこと好きなのに
Oh. I feel like she means that. Like I do think like maybe she's kind of an observer in ways. Maybe like there's multiple versions of her and like she just kind of has maybe some memories of the other ones. I don't know what exactly it is. I don't know if it's like different timelines or if it's all just different dreams, so it's all the same. I don't know. I feel like she means that. Like I feel like she's seen a lot of different versions of us and like she's genuinely trying to help us, you know, make it to an ending that we can all be happy in. Something our heart told me it was true. I just didn't have any evidence. It was pretty much just intuition. We'll be on our way then. See you later. I don't know. This almost seems like it's more like a later game type thing, you know? Because this could be one of the first routes I did, and I could be experiencing this. I think it would fit just as well. But at the same time, yeah, it is kind of nice knowing I'm going to be going into like the Alice stuff and Maya after this. So hopefully I'll be getting some answers and some ideas of what's actually going on here. When I said this, Alice gave me a complicated look, like she's trying to smile but looks somewhat sad. What, don't look at me like we'll never see each other again, it's making me nervous. And Alice did say like she goes from like dream to dream and is like helping people. I wonder if like she's already been helping us like all along for who knows how long.
そんなことはないと思うんだけど
I was forced to smile. Then Alice went somewhere through a nearby door. Well, whatever. I doubt the stream would end even if I saved Saki. When it came down to it, all I had to do was find her in reality. The moment I shifted gears, I reached for the shears I tucked under my belt. Guess I'll go get the princess now. I started walking towards the Castle of Thorns. Okay, let's do it. Ready to go into the Castle of Thorns here. Really? This is a cool CG, but did they really have to like? They really had to just, yeah. Alice dropped from the door and landed on her feet. Okay, I do want to like look at this fully though, like not that part. I'm gonna censor that part, anyways. Gosh, having her sit on that like rose right there looks badass. It's really cool. I love like these little like CJs they give Maya where she just kind of looks so mischievous and so evil. Alice dropped from the door and landed on her feet. Maya, who had been gazing at the town, watched her. Her eyes, as she watched Alice turn around and dust off the hem of her skirt, were filled with the hostility that she never showed around Toru.
何をしに来たのかしら。何って、トールの邪魔をさせないように来たのよ。
Here to prevent you from getting in Toru's way. Alice had lent her beloved shears to Toru as to how she was going to deal with Maya without them. Well, she would figure something out. She hadn't thought any further than that. Maya looked at Alice quietly but maliciously.
別にこれ以上お兄ちゃんたちの邪魔をする気はないわよ。私の望みは二人がきちんと幸せになることだもの。じゃあどうして今まで邪魔してきたのよ。さっきだって。
Why do you keep getting in their way just a while
言い
ago?
たいことも言わないで、二人が幸せになれるかしら。そんなわけないでしょ。
Maya said mockingly, as if dealing with Alice was a pain.
と二人とも世話が焼けるわ。お互いなんとなくで一緒にいられると思ってるんだもの。
Here, I'm gonna go to the dynamic text box because I'm gonna have to censor that.
マイヤ
So.
が出しゃばらなければ一緒にいられたんじゃないの？
I could show this whole scene if you hadn't put your butt in.
無理よ。あんな関係、いつかきっとひどい壊れ方をするわ。うん、関係じゃなくて、どちらかが限界を迎えるのは分かりきってる。そんなわけない。トールたちだって。二人がそう思っていた。私がどういう形なのか分かってないわけないでしょ。
That's what the two of them were thinking. You understand what I am. Maya faced Alice again, looking truly exasperated.
じゃあ、私がここに来なくても、あとはトールに任せておけばよかったっていうの？哀れよね、あなた。何も分かってないんだもの。
Gosh dang, why was this, like, nothing this cool was in the other routes, like, as far as, like, story-wise.
何それ？なんでそんな言われ方しないとなんないの？だいたい、マイヤこそトールの前と随分態度が違うじゃない。当たり前でしょ。私は常にお兄ちゃんの、その次にサキちゃんの味方だもの。そのお兄ちゃんにつきまとう邪魔者相手にどうして優しくしなければならないの？ああ、こっちもひどいブラコンだったか。ええ、私は自分がお兄ちゃんを愛してることを知ってる。けれどあなたは自分のことがどれだけ分かっているの？それは。だけど、それとこれとは今は関係ないでしょ。
Alice pointed at Maya. Though Maya was trying to hold back, her irritation towards Alice was
どっ
overwhelming.
ちにしろ、トールとサキちゃんがきちんと答えを出すまで邪魔はさせないわ。そうね。その答えがやっぱり未来がないものだったら、私もまだまだやることがあるし。それもさせないって言ってるの？あなたがそれを言う？本当に知らないっていうのは腹立たしいわ。
Plants around Maya began to stir. A feeling of irritation and hostility, unlike any that had been felt in the dream, began to ooze from Maya's surroundings. Olva named it Alice.
へえ、ずいぶんやる気みたいじゃない。あなた相手だもの。無駄だって分かっててもしょうがないじゃない。確かに今まで散々邪魔してきたけど、そんなに我慢できなかった？あんなのどうってことないわ。ほんと、こんなの意味もない。ただの
Gosh,
嘘
I really want
話
to
に
know
近いけど。
more about their history here. Maya clicked her heels together as the plants stood up all at
お
once.
兄ちゃんたちの邪魔はさせられないものね。なんで私が？それはマイヤの方でしょ？そんなの自分で気づいてその時に後悔しなさい。きっと教えてもあなたは忘れてしまうもの。
Maya raised a hand towards Alice as the plants gathered around her, writhing.
トールの邪魔はさせられないってのよ。
Alice wasn't particularly fond of this method, but she willed the plants to wither.
まあ、 あなたに怒っても仕方ないのは分かってるんだけど、
My greater
あま
teeth.
りお兄ちゃんたちを甘く見ない方がいいわよ、誰かさん。
But her murmur didn't reach Alice. Ah. Okay. Interesting. The ruckus going on the roof of the Tsukio building was so great that I noticed it even from the ground. Plants would pop up out of the windows and then disappear as though they'd been erased. Alice and Maya must have been really going at it, and that made me want to keep my
さてと、
distance.
上ではあんなに騒ぎになってるのに、トールはずいぶんゆっくりしてたわね。
When I got to the entrance of the thorn-covered building on the first floor, Klebprez was waiting. Yeah, well, I made a little
こ
detour.
っちは待ちくたびれたわよ。かれこれ何日も一人だったんだから。
Seriously.
秘密よ。
It sounded disturbingly likely, but I was sure that Klebprez wouldn't actually
そ
tell
の
me.
間、ここにいると、さきちゃんの考えてることみたいなのがいろいろ見えたしね。
Klebprez closed the paperback book she had been reading and put it down next to her. Then she turned to face me again. Don't tell me you're going to let me pass.
まさか、そんなことは言わないわよ。
I was greatly relieved, but it seemed Klebprez wasn't finished talking yet. At the thorn-covered entrance, she looked up at the building.
私はトールの味方よ。だけど、さきちゃんの敵ってわけでもないのよね。マイヤが二人の邪魔するって言うなら当然味方するし、変に歪めてるって言うなら正す手伝いもするわ。さっき考えてることが見えるって言ったでしょ。それもあってさきちゃんのこともなんとなくわかるのよ。
Klebprez smiled in resignation. So do I.
だけどさきちゃんとトールが出した答えは違うでしょ。
Are you saying you think Saki's answer was the right one?
私が同じように選べる立場だったらって考えればさきちゃんと同じことをしたでしょうね。
No way.
別に世の中を悲観してるわけでも絶望してるわけでもないわ。もしも望んだタイミングで都合よくやり直せるとしたら、そしてそれが自分にとって真実になるのなら。
I couldn't tell Klebprez that was ridiculous or wrong. I see.
あら、反論しないの？
I can't intrude on your privacy that much. I had a feeling that I knew what Klebprez was trying to say. She looked at me with an unchanging expression on her
も
face.
しも私と付き合ってたら、トールは間違ってるって言ってた？
We have maybe gone out before. I think so. Because if you said that, I might not be able to continue going out with you.
そう？もしもやり直してもまた恋人になれるとかドラマチックなことは言ってくれないのかしら。
Ah, interesting. I feel like this is very much a callback to her route. No way, because if we did things the way you wanted, you'd probably already have a boyfriend before you met me.
逆にうまくやり直すなら今の美味しいところは残しておこうって思うんじゃないかしら。
Well, it's just a what if.
そうね。もしもの話よね。
Sure, just a what if, yeah. Looked up at the stairs, they were completely covered in nightmare plants. I was gonna have to dig my way through. The elevator, too, was covered in vines and ivy. It looked like an old apartment wall or ancient ruins in some anime.
言いたいことはもう分かってると思うんだけど。
Klebprez snapped her fingers and the plants covering the elevator shrank away as though time had been rewound.
私は二人の味方よ。どんな答えを出しても友達でいてあげるわ。だけど、だからどっちかの味方はしない。ま、この場合はきちんと話し合わないで一方的に引きこもっちゃったさきちゃんもどうかと思うから。
But ding, the elevator arrived and the doors
二
opened.
人できちんと話し合って答えを出してきなさい。
If that's all you can do, then that'll be enough.
何？景気づけにキスの一つでもしてほしいのかしら？
If things go well, then I'll have Saki give me one, so I don't need one from you. I mean, I didn't know if she was serious or not, but Klebprez pouted when I told her I didn't need a kiss from her. I pointed to the open elevator. I can go to the top using this, right? Nothing weird is going to happen on the way up.
平気じゃないかしら。
I wonder what the brief hesitation could have meant.
いいから早いところ行きなさい。あ、終わったらみんなでパフェでも食べに行きましょうね。
Klebprez. Ignoring my protest, Klebprez forcefully pushed me into the elevator. When I turned around, she kissed me on the cheek.
ふん。おだちんよ、おだちん。さきちゃんが嫉妬してたら。ま、それは見たいから連れてきてね。
Ah, hey. Clubpress casually waved to me as the doors to the elevator closed between us. Wonder if she'd get mad at me if I pushed open. Good grief. Bailey pushed the button to take me to the highest floor. The cheek Clubpress had kissed felt like it was growing hot. Look at this. Still getting some action from Yayoi, even though we're in Saki's route. Guess we're just good like that.
少しお話をしましょうか。話？
Oh, we're going back to
今
this.
さら何よ。
The area around them was completely covered in greenery, making it seem like they were in the middle of a forest. Maya was speaking flatly, seeming neither happy nor angry. Kneeling on the ground and breathing heavily, Alice looked up at her.
これが誰の夢なのかってお話よ。
Alice stopped moving for a second, but it was because she lowered her guard.
やっぱりトールじゃないの？ふん、なるほど。やっぱりそう思ってるのね。だってトールが夢を見始めて、あんたが出てきて、それでいろいろ大変なことになっていったんじゃない。
What are we gonna find out here?
確かに大変なことにはなったかしら。何を人事みたいに。だけど私がいなかったらこの夢はどうなってたかしら。それはちょっと目を離しただけでサンタクロースに変な集団、お姫様やお祭り騒ぎ。
Oh, interesting. So there was parts of this dream world that, like, weren't caused by her.
このままずっと続けばもっと収拾がつかないことになってなかったかしら。そうかもしれない。だけどマイヤのやってたみたいな夢がいいわけがないでしょ。そうしなきゃならないのは誰のせいかしら。
Maya's voice started to grow hostile.
どういう意味？今のあなたに言っても仕方のないことよ。
Maya snapped her fingers, so surrounding plants immediately began creeping towards Alice. Alice gradually became unable to move as the plants enveloped her from her feet upwards. She was tearing them away and erasing them as she went, but the plants came at her faster than she could react.
お祭り騒ぎじゃ終わらなかった。満足もしないし何も変わらない。だから夢を変えていくしかなかった。私だけじゃなくてみんながそう思うように。
Maya murmured, but not to Alice, as though she was checking something.
どういう意味？ここまで言っても気づかないの？それともあなたはやっぱり気づかないようになっているのかしら。
Maya giggled. It wasn't the laugh of someone who was fun. It was a darker, more ominous sort of
も
laugh.
っともあなたにこんなことを言っても無駄なのも分かっているし、何もわからない以上理不尽にも感じるでしょうね。さっきから何を言ってるの？一体何を知ってるっていうの？少なくともこれがどんな夢でこれからどうなるかは知ってるわ。
Budding plants rushed towards Alice all at once.
そんなこと言ってトールたちの邪魔したら許さないんだから。邪魔？私がするわけないじゃない。二人とも大事な相手なのよ。いつでも本気に決まってるじゃない。いや、本気はシャレにならないんだから。分かって。そういうあなたこそお兄ちゃんたちの邪魔はしないでね。そうね、せめてこの夢が終わるまでは私に付き合ってもらおうかしら。
As Maya said this, Alice was quietly swallowed up by the encroaching fauna and stopped moving. A tree sprouted from where Alice was in the massive greenery. When Maya snapped her fingers again, the plants came undone and there was nothing there.
逃げたのかしら。それともまだ邪魔をするつもりかしら。
This is the least I could do, Maya thought.
この間にお兄ちゃんとサキちゃんが答えを出せるといいんだけど。
A tiny leap, Maya took to the air and hovered in
もっと
place.
もそれにどんな意味があるか、そんなの私にもわからないんだけどね。
Maya spoke to the spot where Alice had been. There was no one there, so obviously there was no answer.
さてと、それじゃああの子がいないうちに私も行こうかしら。
With another invisible leap, Maya began to spin in the air. Her form melted away like sand dispersing in water, leaving no one left in the plant-filled rooftop. They're not gonna pull some shit like, oh yeah, Maya was actually just trying to like save Toru the entire time, and Alice is evil, like she's trying to like stop it. They're not pulling some shit like that, are they? This is also... Despite my worries, the elevator went up quite a few floors. The walls and floor of the hallway were covered with so many vines it was getting hard to keep my footing. But I guess it's better than the lower floors since I can still walk. Oh, sorry. I accidentally hit my desk. The stairs going down were packed with plants. The stairs going... Oh. Sorry, I thought I clicked. I couldn't think of any way to get through them aside from burning it all. And since that kind of thing was Saki's purview, I was glad I managed to shake the urge. I could probably do it if I tried, but didn't want to get so reckless after coming this far. Although I still do have these. Pulled the shears out of my belt and felt stiff. They felt stiff and clunky as though they were a toy that wasn't really meant to be used. But just barely touching the shears to the vines and the walls caused them to fall away as if they were made of sand. I'm pretty sure that cutting through the plants quickly, I looked for the floor directory, which should be next to the elevator.
待ってました先輩
Oh, hi. Where did you come from? Hirosaka walked towards me down the hall. Yo, I guess that's everyone then. Raised my hand lightly, but Hirosaka seemed wary.
そうなんですか残りの2人はどこにいるんです
I also want to make sure that Alice doesn't get in the way. They were making a lot of noise up top, but I can't hear it from here. I didn't know if it was because the plants muffled the sound or if this counted as a different place in the dream, but I couldn't hear any commotion coming from the roof. Empress helped me get here, and then she told me to talk things over to Saki and didn't come along.
まったくどうしてそういうところが似るんでしょうか
What do you mean similar?
先に言ってしまうと答えは私も一緒なんです今回の先輩と蓮野さんの間に口を挟んでいいのはあの子だけです
Well, if she were alive anyway, so are you gonna wait here?
それで先輩が迷わないならいいんですけどここから一人で蓮野さんのところに行けますか
I'm sure I'll be fine. Probably. Not reassuring. Looking at her expression in the dense fauna made me a little anxious. Could it be that this place is like a maze now?
そこの案内板なんて役に立ちませんよ
Hirosaka pointed to the board that I'd uncovered, which contained a map. And here I trusted it because it looked the same as the one I saw on
私は
Christmas.
先輩が来るずっと前からここでフラフラしてましたから結構詳しいですよ
You know where Saki is.
蓮野さんとも壁越しだけど少し話しました
Saka turned her back on me and started walking.
ついてきてください蓮野さんのところまで案内しますから
Right. Hirosaka seemed unconcerned, but she sounded a little lonely. Confused, I followed after her. I used Alex's shears to cut our way through the path Hirosaka was guiding me through, moving along a little bit at a time. Surprised you were able to get to Saki in this situation. Ready to take a step without cutting something with these shears. How did Hirosaka make it all the way to Saki?
先輩が来る前はここまでひどいことにはなってなかったんですけど
Maybe this was Saki telling me to stay
それ
away.
もあると思います
Stalks of the vines were thick and the thorns of the vines were stiff and sharp like sharpened pencils. The plants looked dangerous enough to make you think you had to use working gloves, but I cut through them easily with the shears. Are you fine with guiding me even though Saki doesn't want me to see me?
そのつもりがなければわざわざ迎えになんて行きません
Cut our way through the halls.
先輩そこは右に行ってください
This way. Hirosaka couldn't walk ahead of me, so she told me which way to go from behind. Just because I could cut through the plants and vines like paper didn't mean they were making decent time. By the way, do you think Saki is doing the right thing?
なんでそんなことを聞くんですか
That's what Club Prez said. She said the same thing as Maya, that me and Saki's answers clashed. Just wondering what I should do if I only think I'm doing the right thing. I snipped the stem of a rose. Well, Saki is actually the correct one.
くだらない質問ですね
Hey, it might be dumb to you, but it's important to me. When I turned around, Hirosaka was giving me a deeply annoyed look. She even heaved a pretty noticeable
先輩
sigh.
にとって答えが分かりきってるのにわざわざ人に聞こうっていうのがくだらないって言ってるんですだって先輩私は他の誰かが何か言ったところで今さら考え方変えたりするんですか
You've got a point, but there's always a possibility I'm wrong.
それこそ何を今さらです私の言葉程度ですんなり意見を変えるなら先輩はここには来てないんじゃないですか蓮野さんを連れ戻しに行くんでしょ間違ってるってその気がなければとっくに妹さんと一緒にどっかで寝てたんじゃないですか
But that's my opinion. It's true that I have no intention of changing it. But what do you think, Hirosaka? I thought I was right, but neither Saki nor I was doing this because we disliked each other. It's because she is so important and because our wishes were clashing that I was questioning myself.
二人とも臆病すぎるんです 臆病なふりをしてるだけかもしれませんけど。
Never heard either of us be called that
そ
before.
うでしょうね。普段の二人はマイペースでずぶとくて、人を同じ人とも思っていませんから。
Are we really that bad? Hisaka told me to keep moving with her eyes, but I had to know.
周りの人間に対してエゴを散々押し付けてきたくせに、いざ自分たちの番になったからって何チキンになってるんですか。
Our egos, huh? Sorry, I decided to say it that way because she said it that way. Our egos.
まあ今回はハスノさんの方がひどいですけど。
Here's like a
知って
side.
ます？ハスノさん、人気があるからラブレターとかデートのお誘いが多いんですよ。
Oh, I believe that. I know, and they're all people who don't know Saki well. If they knew her even a little bit, they'd find out that she's the only daughter of a Hasano security and back
その
off.
相手、どうしてるか知ってます？
I once saw her throw away a letter after reading it.
よく知らないで見てると本当にひどいと思います。
Well, if you approach her and aren't careful, you'd get your background checked. That was something Tagara-san did on her own, not something company president ordered. If you went too far, you'd be warned, partly because she wanted to avoid situations like that. Saki would avoid casual acquaintances and regularly cut them down verbally. Plus, I think that she could never go without someone who would get angry that
そん
easily.
なことしてるからクラスでも怖がられるんですよ。何ですかその何か言いたげな目は。
I think you and Saki are both similar in a way.
愛想笑い浮かべて人と上辺で付き合うとか。寒気がします。
I mean, don't you already have to do that? I mean, you are kind of in an upper class family. I mean, I would assume you already kind of do that. Couldn't tell if she was talking about Club Prez or whether she thought it all along. Well, I guess I can't think about what to do about you. I can think about what to do about you after we get
ほ
out.
っといてくれてもいいんですけどね。
No, I can't. You're both me and Saki's friend.
私が好き勝手していると周りの目が気になりますか？
No, I'm genuinely worried about you.
おせっかいな。先輩はハスノさんだけ心配してればいいじゃないですか。
How can I not meddle when you're right in front of me? I wanted her just to accept it as part of my nature. Hirosaka seemed to get the hint inside.
ま、それも先輩がうまくハスノさんを助けられたらですけどね。
Well, it might be good for Saki even if I fail. If all of her suffering and regret were to be undone, her guilt towards me would disappear as well. Our difference of opinion wouldn't matter.
それは私にとっては救いになりません。さ
Hirosaka,
っきエゴの話をしましたよね。自分のしたいことを優先してしまうって話。私も実は結構エゴイストなんですよ。
what do you mean actually? You're arrogant no matter how you look at it. My honest answer was met with a glare. She stared at me in silence, I almost felt like she was trying to tell me to take it back. So what is this about your ego?
その言い方は引っかかりますけど、先輩には悪いんですけど、あの妹さんは私にとってどうでもいいんです。
That's a way of thinking that's impossible to me.
分かってます。けど、私にとって大切なのは先輩とハスノさんの2人なんです。だから2人で戻ってきてください。
How selfish of you.
私の意見を知りたかったんじゃないんですか？
Well, I did ask. That was the right thing to do, and here's Saka's point of view.
私が目指してる結果は先輩と同じだと思いますけど。
Must be nice for you to easily accept that you're a third party. I cut through an especially thick stock before we spotted a door. Is that it? Hirosaka nodded. Well then, I'll go on alone.
口を挟む気はないです。面倒ですし。
Hirosaka seemed to be joking for once. I couldn't help but be slightly taken aback. You're talking about my ego. Am I really bad enough for you to call me arrogant? Wasn't really my intention to be arrogant douche towards anyone but
だって
Saki.
先輩はハスノさんを選んだじゃないですか。
Sorry, I don't really understand.
例えば他の相手が先輩と付き合いたいと思っていたとしたら、ハスノさんを選んだのは先輩のエゴじゃないんですか？
I mean, I wouldn't necessarily say that's an ego thing. You say someone else, but was there anyone alive, I mean.
十分あったと思いますよ。まさか私がここまで言ってるのに気づいてないふりですか？安心していいですよ。もともと先輩のことすごい好きだったとかそういうわけじゃないですから。
Yeah, but I think eventually all the girls do kind of fall in love with Toru, even though he's like pursuing other girls. It was just being a little too self-conscious, but I was a little shocked. You mean you think there was a possibility for me to go out with you or Club Prez or Alice or someone else? Yeah, maybe there was. Guess we'll never know. He was saying that we were wishing for that, but I chose Saki due to my own ego.
もしかしたらもっといろいろな道があったんじゃないか。その上でハスノさんを選んだんですから。
Make it sound like you were just, like just living makes you arrogant.
それ何も間違ってないと思うんですけど。
Maybe it's because she sang a lot, but she occasionally said things that sounded almost poetic, almost as if they were lyrics to a
け
song.
ど先輩はそのエゴが強いと思うんです。なんでかわからないんですけど、この夢みたいなところにいるようになってからよく思うことがあるんです。もしかしたら先輩は私の恋人になってくれる人だったのかなって。
Saka's smile looked a little sad, causing my chest to tighten for a moment. Well, maybe it could have happened.
今ハスノさんと別れたら怒りますよ、私。
Huh. This is a really interesting conversation from Hirosaka. I wasn't expecting anything like this whatsoever. Probably meant in the sense that she didn't want me to make Saki mad, not that she didn't want me to choose
言
her.
ったでしょ、二人が好きなんです。だから
I don't know. This almost seems like it's like a true ending in a way. And I know it's not officially, but I feel like it is kind of like a true ending. Us ending up with Saki. I mean, just as much as I think us ending up with Maya would be a true end as well. I think they're both just so important to us. I made it to the door that led to where Saki
今
was.
の先輩のやりたいことを押し通してください。待ってますから。
I don't know. I think though a true ending to me has to fix the Maya problem. Either we have to like say goodbye, has to be a big emotional thing, and you know, we're finally able to kind of let her memory just be a memory, right? Like she can't just keep appearing. Getting rid of the dreams, and then kind of having some conclusion there, or we have to like save her. I don't know what necessarily that's going to entail, but there has to be something like that. What if I lose the Saki and wish for a different dream for just the two of
そ
us?
れが幸せなら怒りません。
Hirosaka was lying. She would definitely get mad if she realized it. But that's what she said.
ここで待ってます。
Right, see you later. I waved my hand nonchalantly, then pushed open the door. Okay, I want to see how this goes. When I went inside, the door closed behind me. There was no turning back now, though it was just a door in this dream that wasn't a door that would lead you back to Hirosaka. In fact, this door probably wouldn't open anymore. This door was no longer connected to where Hirosaka was. Well, I somehow made it back. The area was overgrown with the same thick vines as had been growing in the hallway. In the midst of that, a girl was standing on the stage looking at me, sad and disappointed. If you're supposed to be Sleeping Beauty, then go to sleep, otherwise we can't do the last scene.
嫌よ。寝てたら兄さんにキスされちゃうじゃない。
What would be wrong with that? You don't want a kiss from your boyfriend.
ええ、嫌よ。だってそんなことされたらきっともっと欲しくなっちゃう。やり直したいって思えなくなっちゃうもの。
Sounds good to me. Made sure the shears were still in my hands. It felt awkward, but I got a little used to them now. Not changing my plans, I'm gonna kiss the princess, wake her up, and we'll live happily ever
キ
after.
スしなくてもハッピーエンドよ。うん。
Just like when I fought Maya, the thorns around Saki began to stir.
もしも茨姫が最初から眠りにつかなければどうなってたと思う？最初から誕生日に魔女を呼んであげればいいの。そうすれば誰も困らない、悲しまない、幸せな物語になるわ。
There's one person who would be troubled in that
誰か
story.
しら。
The prince who saves the princess at the end. I cut down the vines that reached for me, as well as a pleasant sound as the shears tore away at the plants. But it wasn't just one vine or a bundle of vines that were coming out of the ground all around me. They were coming all out of the ground all around me. As I cut them away, I faced Saki. If I got captured by these flowers that smelled like nightmares, I was doubtful I would wake up again. If I forgot everything and got rewound with Saki, I would be swallowed up by a happy story from the beginning. What would happen to him? To the lucky guy who went to a castle where everyone disappeared 100 years ago and got his hands on a beautiful bride.
きっとその人もまた幸せになれるわ。
No, he wouldn't. For him, that was a miraculous stroke of luck. What kind of princess would go to a suspicious place like that? He definitely couldn't be happy any other way.
だけど兄さんはその王子じゃないわ。
No, I am that prince. I'm a weirdo who wanders around unsteadily by myself. There were more vines attacking me now. Red, sweet-smelling flowers bloomed up all around, and the thorns were starting to wrap around me, pricking my skin and drawing blood.
どうしてやり直させてくれないの？マヤちゃんも一緒で兄さんは苦しくなくてなんで？
You already said that, but I don't want that, which is why I came here. If we redid it like Saki said, things would probably be pretty easy. There would be me looking sleepy as usual, Maya who was self-sufficient but had a bad personality, and Saki laughing together with us. Three of us would have fun together and be happy, and I wouldn't collapse. And Saki wouldn't suffer, and every day would be cheerful. But that's all a dream. Saki flinched. What good is running away into a dream? Even if that might become reality, that's not a place to run away to. You're the one who told me
だ
that.
からやり直したいって言ってるんじゃない。あんなこと言うんじゃなかった。私は。
I'm telling you that we don't have to do it over. Even if we did, it's not like Maya would really come back.
それは私たちにとっては本当になるわよ。
The vines were all over me now. I was covered in wounds. One of my eyes would hardly open, and my clothes were now in tatters. Even if the shears had been caught in the plants and taken away from me. Oh, that's not good. I managed to make it to Saki. I want to keep living with you.
そんなこと今さら。
I'm fine with how things are now. We became a couple. That's precisely why I'm fine with
なん
it.
でよ。私はマヤちゃんの代わりなんでしょ。
The thorns around us stopped moving. I grabbed Saki's wrist as she squirmed, trying to get away from me. You and Maya are different. You aren't Maya.
なんで今になって言うのよ。
Don't get the wrong idea. I've never thought of you as the same.
だってトールちゃん、マヤちゃんがいなくなって妹がいないと。
Even as my sister, you're still Saki. Why did I never say this before? It sounded like he wanted, you know, there was a few times where, you know, we were in those memories. It sounded like he wanted to say this. Maybe he just never found the right time. But, you know, better late than never, I guess. I did say Saki was my sister, but you've been Saki the whole time. Whether you're my sister or my childhood friend or my girlfriend, whether you're honest or pretending to be mean, or even when you get used to acting like that. No matter what, you're still Saki. You aren't Maya's replacement. You made her loss easier by being you. Not letting her get away, I put my arms around her thin frame and hugged her.
嘘。そんなの初めて聞いた。
I'm sorry I never said it earlier, both of us. We both thought we basically understood what the other was thinking, but that was only on the surface. In truth, we didn't understand a thing.
そんなこと言われたら私もう巻き戻せなくなっちゃう。
Saki timidly put her arms around
だ
me.
よ。どうしよう。私どうすれば。
The sound of someone clapping once I looked back.
どうもしなくても大丈夫。私に任せてくれればそれでいいのよ。
Can't just leave things alone, huh? Maya was there floating above the mass of thorns. What happened to Alice?
今頃どこかで寝てるんじゃないかしら。お兄ちゃんってばまだあの女のことを頼ってただなんていつになったら懲りるのかしら。
Ah, she's saying ominous things again for you to still be relying on that woman. I mean, we've definitely relied on her, like, you know, a few times in this route, right? But I don't know, that makes it seem like it's been happening a lot. Something that struck me, Alice sometimes wasn't around during crucial moments, but she has still always been my
そんな
ally.
ことないわ。お兄ちゃんたちの本当の味方は私の方よ。
Maya twirled her finger around and a gold pocket watch appeared.
さてと、それじゃあ、さきちゃんの願いを叶えて。
マヤちゃん、それは。
何？まさか、ちょっと待ってっていうのかしら。いやよ、せっかくここまで来たんだもの。
Yeah, I don't think it's a good idea to trust the cute giggling girl.
今を逃せばまた元通りになっちゃうかもしれないじゃない。そんなのごめんだわ。
Yeah, Maya, you're a little bit selfish, because I think in a way she wants to always be a part of everything. I know something obviously happened to her. Like, that's sad, right? But I think it's kind of selfish that she's constantly, like, putting herself in everything when she doesn't necessarily need to be. She wasn't really welcomed. She's ending up just causing problems for everyone else, which I don't think is really necessarily what the real Maya would do. Maya, that's enough. Why are you doing this even though Saki doesn't want it anymore? Maya toyed with the chain of the pocket watch in her
それ
hands.
にね、本当の望みなんて言っても、そんなの自分だけで分かったつもりになってるだけなのよ。
Just thinks that's what she wants, huh? Now how can you say that you know?
それが正しいって私が信じてるからよ。
So you're doing the same thing as her.
私がそうしたいの。
Everyone's just doing what they think is right. Mike giggled
お兄ちゃ
maliciously.
んがそうしたい。さきちゃんがそうしたい。そう思うように私もそうしたいの。
So everyone's being selfish.
私が思うように二人を幸せにしてあげたいなってそう
Maya.
思うのよ。
I lifted up Maya to try to stop her, but I couldn't reach her up in the air where she was. She wasn't moving. She wasn't moving, but there was a great deal of vines between us. With the shears gone, even when I tried to wish the thorns away, they showed no signs of disappearing.
この間みたいな余計な邪魔はさせないわよ。
You mean I can't imitate Alice?
だからあの時きちんと引き金を引いて私を振り切っていればよかったのにね。さきちゃん。
Up where I couldn't reach, Maya popped open the gold pocket watch and reached for one of the hands.
マヤちゃん、ダメ。本当にダメなの。私は。
Saki? Oh, she pulled out the gun, solving all the problems with this gun again. When I looked back, I saw that Saki had pulled out a gun. She was aiming it at Maya, both hands trembling.
私は兄さんと行きたい。今このままでいいならそれでいいの。そう。じゃあお別れね。そのお別れのやり方は分かってるんでしょ？
Maya didn't stop. When she reached for the hand with her finger, I was struck by the sensation that the ground was collapsing. It only lasted for a few seconds, but our surroundings became enveloped in a bright light. Maya was humming as she slowly turned the hand back. It was a strange feeling because of that pocket watch. I like whatever song's playing. Stop, Maya. You said Saki and I would be happy that way, didn't you? Maybe you're right, but you know what? I ran over to Saki and snatched away her gun. The whole reason this was all happening was because of my weakness. Out of the corner of her eye, Maya looked at us and grinned, not in the least bit disturbed. We don't want you to do that. We didn't ask for it. Hell yeah, we're holding the gun now too. I put my finger on the trigger, but my hand was shaking so I couldn't properly take aim. Happiness and unhappiness, suffering and wanting to cry, and having fun all belong to us. It's not something for you to
じゃ
prepare.
あお兄ちゃんどうすればいいか分かってるでしょ？
Okay, please tell me they're both gonna put their hand on the gun and shoot the trigger. That's what needs to happen. They both need to let go. Yeah, I know.
トルちゃん。
She won't appear. She doesn't exist. Saying like that isn't enough to be free of you. I stood to face Maya. I should have done this a long time ago and held up the gun. Tears blurred my vision. I didn't feel like I'd be able to hit her.
またそうやって一人で無理しようとして。
Okay, thank goodness. This is what needed to happen. I knew it. Okay, from the side, Saki's hand took a hold of mine. Her expression was definitely not that of someone at ease, but it was strong.
相手の分も一人で全部背負おうとすると私みたいになっちゃうわよ。
Or you might turn out like me. Guilt or regret might almost crush us again. Despite the situation, I felt a laugh welling up from deep inside me. Although it was a little bitter, my hand stopped shaking as much.
なにお兄ちゃん。
I shouldn't be shouldering this alone. Saki will help me bear it from now on. Believing that, goodbye. I pulled the trigger. There was a bang like a balloon popping, and Maya's body jumped in midair. Saki held her breath. Oh, this CG is so good. I love this part right here the most. Like having the petals come out of her like blood. And you know, you got this these like thorns and everything. So good. Like, see, something like this could have been the true end. A bright red flower bloomed in Maya's chest. They could have done something like this, and then like a what if like she never like died or something. I don't know what they're gonna do. Oh, and then seeing her shattering like that. Maya didn't look surprised. Instead, a smile came across her face. Oh, a smile. I really want to know the whole truth about what's going on, because it's like she acts evil sometimes, but then she has moments like that where she's smiling, like she's almost happy that her brother is finally like getting together and making a decision and really fighting till the end for something he believes in, you know? Like, he's trying to fight for his happiness. And that's what she wanted. I mean, she just wanted to put them in the dream so they could be happy, right? Like, as long as they're happy, it doesn't matter to her. Red splash, the same color as a rose scattered on Maya fell. I knew this was what needed to happen, and to think I did it of my own accord. That didn't mean I wasn't shocked. I knew Maya was already dead, but... Saki caught me and hugged me as my body grew limp. Saki, knowing that she was next to me was enough for the strength to return to my body. Maya disappeared as though she melted into the thorns. The blood she had shed smelled sweet, like the scent of roasted honey. Goodbye, Maya. I won't depend on you anymore. Even in a world without you, even if I'm not strong, I can survive. My hands shook. Tears streamed down my face. I could hear Saki calling my name, but I couldn't answer her. I couldn't hug her back. In the midst of that, don't worry, Maya. I'll be fine as long as I have Saki. I said my final goodbye. The dream world started to melt away. I held Saki so that she wouldn't get separated. Well, that was really good. That's what I wanted. I just wanted that a little bit sooner. I was like, oh, I know it's gonna be good when we get to it. Like, that's the scene I wanted, like, an hour ago. When was it? When was the last time my body moved so smoothly right after I woke up? I blinked in surprise at the voice that came out of my throat. This isn't still part of a dream, right? Oh, we got a new song. Okay. Yeah, oh, all this was so good. Like, I don't want to just, like, skim through it as fast as possible. I'm not trying to do that. This was all really good. I love that CG. I love the idea of them pulling the trigger together, because I think that's what they needed to do. It needed to be, like, solidified. Like, hey, we're in this together. We don't need Maya anymore. Like, they both needed Maya up until this point. Now they both said, hey, we have each other, so we don't need you. It was really nice. My body was so relaxed, completely different from how I'd usually wake up. My body wasn't creaking like usual either. I got the feeling that this was what a normal morning was like. But it seemed I was naive. When I tried to reach out to grab my glasses at my bedside, my arm wouldn't move at all. Maybe I tried to return to normal. I hadn't returned to normal right away after all. Saki was lying in my arm, so of course it wouldn't move. Apparently she'd been lying on it for some time because my arm was completely asleep. This was bad. But I didn't know if I should wake Saki up. Either I didn't know what time it was. More importantly, I didn't smell the scent of dreams. Both that sickeningly sweet aroma and the scent of the forest were gone, and I always smelled the Saki right next to me. It was bad. Maybe it was because I was relieved and I thought it was wrong to think about that sort of thing, but I just couldn't do nothing. Is it all really over? Was what I was hoping to accomplish with all those doubts and concerns? Wasn't enough for it to be over? But if it was all a dream, and one that only I'd been having, at that, it wasn't over then. Saki's face was right in front of me, and if I moved a little... Saki suddenly opened her eyes. I tried to pull back in surprise, but my arm was being held down by Saki's head. Saki, when did you wake up? I didn't know when, but it seemed like I groaned at some point without noticing. But when Saki ran her fingers over my arm, a sharp tingling sensation ran up to my shoulder. Ah, it's like my whole arm has turned into a carbonic acid. Hey, why are you touching it? Ah! Looking pleased as she watched me groan. Saki brushed my arm with her fingers. I couldn't get away, so I continued to make strange sounds. Saki sat up. I felt relieved, but also disappointed that she'd moved away. Saki looked down at me. Hey, Saki? When did we start dreaming? Saki didn't reply. When did the dream start and when did it end? Even now. Saki sounded a little angry. When I looked at her confused, Saki reached out towards my bedside. Then half forcefully she put my glasses on my face. The cool touch of the frames, the softness and warmth of Saki's fingers. That was a sensation only I knew. It was something I could never feel in a dream. Don't laugh at me like that. When she laughed at me with such a chilling smile, it made me wonder if I'd made a mistake with how I treated her. This was probably the result of Saki making an effort to become a sister who enjoyed tormenting me. Lately, I've been wondering, do you torment me because you enjoy it or because you're imitating Maya?
だって困った顔のトールちゃんが可愛いんだもの。
Pouted cutely. Because of what she was saying, I couldn't feel happy
ト
about
ール
it.
ちゃんだって女の人に困らされるの好きじゃない。
That's your excuse. I wanted to insist I wasn't that kind of person, but it didn't seem like Saki would believe me. There's no point in saying that
認
now.
めるの？
You don't have to force yourself to joke around. I sat up and ruffled Saki's hair. No matter how much Saki tried to act like Maya, whenever I did this, she would always narrow her eyes and smile like she had when we were little. One time I told her she was like a dog being praised, and she pouted.
また犬みたいだとか思ったでしょ。
Oh gosh, it just reminds me of that episode that we trained her like a dog, or we were trained like a dog. Thought I was like a dog again, didn't you? Can you actually read my
だ
mind?
ってトールちゃんそう思ってる時いつも同じ顔するんだもの。
Guess I hadn't changed
いいわ
either.
よ。望むならトールちゃんの犬になってあげよっか。
Hey yo. Anything, aren't I more like your
あ
dog?
ら、主従で言ったらそっちがいつでもご主人様のつもりだったけど。
Saki buried her face in my chest without putting her arms around me. It was different from having a cat snuggle up with you. It was more like she went to lie down and I just happened to be there. Saki?
どうしよう。まだ自信がないのよ。きっと大丈夫。ここはもう夢じゃない。目を覚ました。そう、私にはトールちゃんのメガネみたいなのがないから、ここが夢じゃないって信じられない。
Saki's voice shook.
ねえトールちゃん、本当に私たち目を覚ませたの？
Saki's fears would probably remain no matter what I said, even if I hugged her. What would be best to help Saki realize that this was
もし
reality?
かしたらまだマイアちゃんに見せられた夢で、これが私たちの望んだ現実そっくりの夢じゃないかって、そう思っちゃったら。
I think that would be so fucked if, like, I know this isn't the bad ending, but if they did some shit like they did in the bad ending again, I think that would be so good. I actually wouldn't mind that at all. Like, if they just, like, were like, oh, okay, you know, you said goodbye to Maya, and then you just see her freaking grin again. Oh, that would be good. I don't know. I would be okay if all the endings are technically bad, except for, you know, the true ending. I need at least one good ending. I really liked Yayoi's, though. And I'll say that for as long as I play this game. I think Yayoi's ending was so good. But, I mean, I like this one, too. I just think, though, it'd be really twisted if they're like, yeah, like, some kind of hint that Maya's not really gone or something. Just, like, never, she'll just never leave. Then I took her by the shoulder and looked her in the face. Then I gave her a surprise kiss. There were tears on Saki's face, so our kiss tasted like tears. Like our kisses always taste, our kisses were always like that. When our lips parted, I patted Saki's cheek. Lightly, I made a sound.
何するの？
Are you awake now? Hold Saki close to me. This is reality. You made me understand that, remember? She kissed me when I couldn't tell dreams from reality and slapped me as hard as she could. Even as she cried, she told me what had happened to Maya. Maya's gone. I still have to deal with lucid dreams and live tired every day. But this is reality. Everyone is here, so don't run away into a dream. This is a world where you have to do things yourself.
もしもトールちゃんもそう思ってるだけだったら。
Then we'll wake up again as many times as we have to. Lucky still seemed unconvinced. Even if this were still a dream, I didn't care. We would just wake up as many times as we had to. Saki and I would live together. We wouldn't forget Maya, but we wouldn't be chained to her either. Good morning, Saki.
おはよう、トールちゃん。
I felt relieved to have made that decision, and then I realized something terrible.
どうしたの？
This has been a long time coming, and it might make you doubt whether this is reality again, but my throat was dry and I was starting to sweat. Nervousness quickly overtook me. Saki was watching me curiously with her head tilted. And if your dream and my dreams clash, then something terrible might happen, but...
前置きはいいからさっさと言う。
Yes, ma'am. I let out a breath to calm my breathing. I love you, Saki. After all this time, I realized I never actually said those words to her. Saki looked at me in supreme annoyance.
やっと？
I'm sorry, could it be that you were waiting? Ow! 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 Even though she was just pushing her fist against my ribs, it was extremely painful. Gosh, we're still not recovered from that. What's this? One of her self-defense moves?
ま、自分で気づいたから許してあげるけど。
What if I hadn't realized
気
it?
づくまでいくらでも待つつもりだったもの。
I believe that one. Lucky's smile was filled with such confidence, I doubted I would have been ever able to compete with
だ
her
けどそれどのくらい
more than anyone.
トールちゃん自身よりも私が好き
I think so.
マイヤちゃんよりも
I embrace Saki. I'm going to live with you from now on. If I had Saki, then I could endure a reality without Maya, and I wouldn't need to run away into a dream world.
じゃあ私はトールちゃんと生きるわ
Lucky put her arms around me and buried her face into my chest again. Was this the reason she was shaking because she was crying? Next thing I knew, tears were coming down my cheeks as well. We were missing one person, but the two of us would live on. I finally accepted that world. The hole in my chest had widened, and up until now I hadn't been able to see it because Saki had been desperately hiding it. I think I'll keep causing trouble for you, but that hole wouldn't be filled right away, but I wouldn't look away
ト
anymore.
ールちゃんの面倒を見るのなんて今に始まったことじゃないわそれに
Lucky gave me a mischievous smile. Not because she was imitating Maya, but just as herself.
私も迷惑かけるから逃げちゃダメよ
Okay. I hugged Saki and ruffled her hair, and I laughed. It was weak, but it was almost refreshing. The most refreshing laugh I'd had in a long time. That was nice. Ooh, we got a little after story. Let's go. It's now summer the following year. Okay, I come to the hostile summer home. I'm trying to decide if I want to give my thoughts now or if I just want to wait and see. I think they have the wrong idea about something. Saki and I taking this trip alone, although this was way more convenient. It amazed me that the hospitals that Takahara-san had allowed it.
されてるというか私が勘違いさせたんだもの
Slightly confused, I looked back only to see Saki smiling at me shamelessly. Just so you know, just so that I know how to behave when we get back, what did you say
トー
exactly?
ルちゃんと夏の思い出が欲しいなって言って出てきたわ
This is kind of traumatizing, going through a forest after what happened. This is how my life ends. Wait a second, why did Takahara-san allow that? What about your dad?
兄さんがきちんと覚悟を決めたからじゃないかしら
I heaved a deep sigh. That Nissan was clearly on purpose. After the incident, I returned to normal. In other words, I still had lucid dreams, but I stopped dreaming about Maya. Whether that was a result of me manning up was a different question altogether. That's because my life would be in danger if I was at all half-assed about a relationship with you.
私が妹でしかなかった間は中途半端じゃないつもりだったんだ
Back then, I really did think of you as my sister. It was clearly a difference of
つま
opinion.
りトールちゃんはまさか私以外の彼女を作るかもしれなかったと
I won't deny that. Well, you were my sister, so I guess depending on the circumstances, there might have been that possibility. Even though it was summer, Saki's voice still managed to chill me to the bone as we walked through the forest. We were exploring the forest with a local map, a compass, and camping equipment just in case. It was on the side of the mountain close enough to human habitation, such that a half-asleep child might be able to wander there by accident. The place we were aiming for was somewhere you could get to so long as you planned for it.
本当の目的にみんな気づいてるからすんなり行かせてくれたんじゃないかしら
Not surprising, even if you didn't tell them we'd made quite a lot of preparations. Went without saying that this was the forest where Maya had died. Yeah, I got that. My parents were adults, so they accepted reality more easily than I did. I wonder if they're gonna do some kind of memorial to kind of commemorate her. That's not to say that they were able to accept it because they were adults, rather as adults they had to accept it. Because I started falling apart so soon after they found me, they had to accept the fact that their daughter was dead. Must have been hard for my mom because she had been against me coming back here until the
お
end.
母さんの心配を振り切って悪い兄さんだわ
Did you just nonchalantly call my mom mother?
最近はそう呼んでもいいのよって言われてるの知らないの
No, what the hell?
まあうちの方をトールちゃんがそんな風に呼んだらどうなるかわからないけど
I'd call Takahara-san mommy any day. I mean, hold up, you didn't hear that. Edit that out. Editors. Oh wait, I don't have editors, frick. I'm working hard, so I'll be able to
知って
someday.
るわ
It wasn't just about our relationship, it was about the public perception of our
うちの
relationship.
父さんはお互いが本気で好きで不幸にならないならいいって言ってはいるけどね
There's a difference in responsibility between that and marrying you. Like it was the company's president's only daughter, while there was no policy that said that the company had to stay in the family. It was understood that Saki would succeed her father. When that time came, I couldn't still be a useless bystander, so I was hitting the books pretty
知
hard.
ってる？最近高原さんが時々トールちゃんのこと褒めてるのよ。すぐ値を上げるかと思ったのに頑張ってるって。
Yeah, I'm happy to hear that. Things out Takara-san was my tutor, I was troubling her as well as Saki. Then again, she was working me ragged, which made me realize how lenient school had
だ
been.
けど本人に言っちゃダメって言ってたかしら。
You just did.
それで気を抜くわけないものね。そしたら私が困るもの。
That's a terrible way of getting me to promise not to. For Saki's sake, I didn't intend on giving up. Should have just asked
愛して
instead.
るわ、お兄ちゃん。
By the way, I told you I'm fine without you being my sister anymore, didn't I? That's right, I talked to her about ending that relationship in April when Saki graduated from the annex building. We would be a couple in school and everywhere else. I let her know I was okay
兄
now.
と妹の禁断の恋って盛り上がるものがないかしら。
Are you seriously asking me that of someone who's as sister obsessed as
じゃ
me?
あ問題ないじゃない。むしろ妹相手の方が好きなくせに。
You're wrong
ど
about
こが
that.
妹好きだからって本当の妹に手を出したらダメでしょ。
I love you even if you aren't my
だか
sister.
らもっと好きにしていいって言ってるのに。
Clearly, we were talking around each other. Plus, she knew we didn't bring that up. In fact, after we became a couple, if anything, Saki came to my apartment less often. Woke up by myself most mornings. On the rare occasion she did come to wake me up here, Saki was usually with her. We went about that as often as we had before we started having that dream. You don't have to force yourself. Put my hand on Saki's head.
無理なんてしてないわよ。
I see. I replied as we headed for the spot we'd been told. It was an opening in the forest that even a child could get to. Also the spot where Saki's folk tale had been based on. We were walking to the place where I'd woken up, and then we tried to return with Maya in tow. When we got there, unlike what we had seen in the dream, it was a vibrant, multicolored sanctuary amidst a sea of trees. The clearing was covered in flowers of every imaginable hue, and with the sunlight streaming through the canopy, it was like a different world. Like a scene from a fairy tale. This was where I woke up. This place that forest I never returned to after that night. Saki took my hand without a word. I think maybe Maya was here until the end.
手をつないで一緒に歩いてたんじゃないの？
Slowly shook my head. I thought so, but maybe I was the only one who was trying to get back. Maybe I just thought Maya was with me, and when in reality I walked out holding nothing at all. My gut told me that was a likely possibility.
トールちゃん。
Haha, I don't feel as bad as I thought I would. My voice was weak, but my senses were still sharp. It wasn't like I was about to break down crying or anything. In fact, Saki was the one who looked like she might start to cry. When I let go of her hand, she gave me a sad look for a moment, but I stroked her head. With my free hand, I took my phone out of my pocket. Hanging from it was that plastic ring.
それいつから持ってたかまだ思い出せないまま？
Not at all. Seemed I'd been holding it in my hand when they had found me in the forest. The ring's paint was coming off in places. Apparently I had to let go of it until I'd woken up from that dream. Though I hadn't been aware of it, when I thought of how Saki must have felt upon seeing that, it made my chest ache. That was why I came here today. I pulled a utility knife out of my backpack and cut the string holding the ring. I already told Saki what I intended to
いい
do.
の？
I can't rely on her forever. The item that I clung to thinking of it as if it were Maya, the item that had worried Saki and the adults around me. It's a way of taking responsibility. The thing in my hand was nothing more than a plastic toy ring, but it carried with it a weight that I couldn't put into words. Thought maybe, just maybe, that when we came here, Maya might be here. Saki silently urged me to continue. Just like at that tea party in the dream, she would be there and talk to us like nothing had happened.
マーヤちゃんならやりかねないわ。
Right? It was an impossible dream-like wish. Wonder what Maya would have said if she were
ト
here.
ールちゃんはなんて言うと思う？
Maybe that we were a pain, dragging along our guilt for so long. I could easily imagine her saying that pompously like she was older than us.
私は違うかな。
Then what do you think she would say?
しっかり兄さんを捕まえておかないとまた夢に出るわよって脅してきそう。
Sounds like her. I remember my little sister's face as she said other things people didn't like with a smile. My little sister who might be sleeping here now. but Maya wouldn't wake up again. She was gone. Most likely she wouldn't appear in my dreams again either. She wasn't in my dreams, and she wasn't in the last place we half expected her to be. She's gone, isn't she? I was finally able to really believe that Maya was gone.
トールちゃん
How long had it taken me to realize this? I'm so hopeless for keeping this up for so long.
しょうがないよ。だって私ももしかしたらここにマイヤちゃんがいるかもって思っちゃったから。
She really was a crazy sister, to be able to make us even doubt her death.
マイヤちゃんらしいじゃない。
We were parting ways with that crazy sister now. Even though our hearts were heavy, Saki and I laughed together. Goodbye, Maya.
おやすみなさい。だけどまた会えるから。
Saki?
けどすぐには会えない。これから私はトールちゃんと2人でずっと生きていくから、また3人で遊ぼう。
With tears in her eyes, Saki took my hand. Yeah, we'll take our time getting there, so when that's all over, threw the ring in my hand in the center of the blooming flowers, shimmered briefly under the sun before disappearing among the petals. I won't wake you up again, so rest in peace, Maya. Oh, that was nice. That was the ending that needed to happen for these two. Like there's just no other way that could have gone, you know? It's like they had to say goodbye to Maya. She wasn't there anymore. Okay. I'm done with Saki's route. Look at that. We're there. We've completed Saki's route. Who would have thought? I finished Leyline and now I'm actually making progress in Hapymaher. Well, that's good. That's good, I guess. I think it's very fitting that things went the way they did, just because if we see here just on the title screen, you know, they're holding on to each other. They're so intertwined. Okay, I'm gonna have to do a little bit of editing. I accidentally went into the extras, and when you go into the extras, you know what? You're surprised with scenes from the game, and you know what? There's a lot of loot scenes. So I can't show this. I'd edit that a little bit, but we'll end off on this screen. I think this is like a beautiful CG. Really love it. I like all the meaning it had with them, you know, getting rid of her ring, saying their final goodbyes. I mean, they already did say goodbye, but I think that was nice that they kind of walked through the forest. They were kind of facing their fear, you know, their trauma and the thing that's had a hold on them for so long. And I mean, they did it in a nice way. Let's talk about Saki's route real quick before I end the video. I think it had the same problem I have with a lot of routes. Definitely parts that they could have trimmed. I think they were delaying it a lot longer than I would have liked. I was just so excited to get to the end, and I'm like, you guys are going too slow for me. But the parts that like were really good, there was a lot. I really liked how we built upon Alice in this route. That was nice. Alice actually got a lot of time, just overall, which was good, because I'm about to go into, you know, the Alice and Maya stuff. So I'm really looking forward to kind of learning all the secrets and maybe more about what happened. We got a lot in this one, I'll say that. A lot more about them like sleepwalking and how they, you know, just were together that night. So I think this is really good to know, kind of going into that, maybe diving into it deeper. So that's nice. You know, them talking about Maya being an imposter, that was something I don't really think they mentioned too much, or at least not that I've paid attention to. So I'm wondering if there's something going on there, like someone's kind of controlling her, or if that isn't actually Maya, or what the deal is there. I think there's a lot more to that story. And then Alice clearly knows something. I don't know if she's been like fighting against this Maya, like in other kind of timelines or other dreams. I think that's gonna be interesting to find out. I want to know more about her version that was in the hospital that we saw. I don't know if that's necessarily her. I'm assuming it is, because the text is also her same color, but the eyes are different color. So I want to know more about that. Lots of lots of things to look forward to after this. I really like the romance between these two. I'm glad they're finally together. I mean, obviously I feel like they kind of had a thing for each other. And they're both kind of broken in a way. Like, they both had something that was just unimaginably hard to deal with, losing someone that was so close to them. And it's like, where do you go from there, you know? So I think we'll get some more answers, and although they won't be together in any of the other routes, hopefully they can be happy. Lots of great moments with like Yayoi and Hirosaka in this route too. I really liked how she kind of admitted to maybe being in love with him, or saying if there's a different timeline, maybe Yayoi and Toru could have been together. That was kind of funny because they have been together and they had a really good route. Yeah, so I mean, overall, I would definitely put Saki's route above Hirosaka, absolutely. That, no question about that. I think the amount of romance in here and then the amount of like storytelling was really good, but I still think I like Yayui's better. I think just purely from my personal preference, like I just like Yayui's better. And no, that's not because she has bigger boobs. I just really like Yayui's. I don't know if it's because it's the first one I did. I probably have bias towards it, but it was just so good. I think story-wise, though, this whole route with Saki makes more sense. I think this is more natural. This seemed more like it could have been a true end to me. So I like that. But I do think that there's going to be some kind of way to save Maya in the end. I think that's what's going to end up happening. But I really want to know what's going on with Alice. I want to know what's going on with Maya. And hopefully we're going to get some answers soon. So I'll see you guys in the next episode. Have a good one.